All right, guys, today we're hunting the legendary LA bass, and for bait, taxpayer dollars. Works every time. We're going to be in that 5 to 8 foot range. Okay, so that's the deal. So let's get back to it. Oh yeah, she's close. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, 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 ho. There she is. Easy, girl. Easy. Easy. Damn, she's taking the whole city budget. Would you look at that bass? She loves public funding. Nobody panic. You'll scare her back into hiding. No, 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 no. Hold together. Come back here. Are you kidding me? And there goes another few billion.
Wow.
We almost saved Los Angeles. But hey, in a few days, go out and vote for me, and it's bass for dinner every night. Easy,
right.
Girl.
Oh, get that bass. Get that bass. What an awesome commercial. What an awesome commercial. Fletcher, or Spencer Pratt. Why do I keep calling him Fletcher? Yes, that is one really ugly bass. You're right, Kofi. One ugly bass. What's up, Lisa? Happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Fletcher Boy's here. What's up? Good to see you. Miss Hacker's here. How you doing? Yeah, great commercial it is. Neuro, what's up, Neuro? That's right. We got the old raid on the Rumbles. The Rumble Raid, the Rumble Raid. Here comes the Rumble Raid. Thank you so much, Mr. Gavea. Please, if you haven't already, if anybody is here and hasn't subscribed to Robert Gavea, please subscribe to Robert Gavea. He is great dude. Awesome guy. Great content. Please like and share the stream out so other people can come check it out. That's right. Share it out. Colfie's here too. What's up? Happy Florida girls here. Spuds, what's up, Spuds? Great to see you. Jonathan, buddy, how you doing? Miss Hacker's here too. How you doing? Dan, what's up, Dan? How you doing? CF Rob's here. Sunny Days here. What's up? Neuro's here. Sticky Sean's here. Oh, everybody's here. So I guess I could get started, right? What's up, Raza for Trump? Awesome to see you. Yes. So yeah, so we got a bunch of news stories. There is another there's another video that I thought was really good. I'm going to play it now, and it's going to get clipped out, so it's only going to be seen like right now, because this has got like copyrighted music, so it's going to be like an issue. It's going to have to be snipped out later. So, a little bit, isn't it? It's time to do a raid. Time to do a raid. Hi ho, Idario. It's time to do a raid. That's awesome. Ken Krause is here. What's up? Brenda's here. Is this a largemouth or striped bass? Not exactly sure. It needs to be like pinstripes, like a jail. Oh, Robert said, sorry, forgot to do the raid. He'll do it tomorrow. Oh, no worries. No biggie. No problem. It happens. Live premium only. What do you mean on Rumble? No, I shouldn't be live premium only on Rumble. I'm not using any type of Rumble Studio or nothing like that. I just use a regular Rumble. I'm not live premium only. I'm just live. I don't use Rumble Studio. Muff gave us the link. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate it, Muff and Rando. Hey, stuff happens. It happens. I appreciate the fact that he even mentions me and that he thinks to do it. As long as he, I appreciate whatever he does. So it's fine. No, this video is premium only. Oh, well, whoa, hold on a second. Look at that. That looks like Obama being carried by the Incredible Hulk, man. That's insane. That is insane. That's insane. Hey, what's up, America First? How you doing? Great to see you tonight. Yeah, this is kind of bad, isn't it? Like, I don't know. This is Miley Cyrus is looking sexy these days. Yeah, kind of a little bit. What's up, James? Jimbo, great to see you. I mean, Big Mike is ripped. This may get YouTube video yeeted. YouTube hates music. Yeah, I know it might get yeeted, but it's like what more than likely is going to happen is they'll just claim it, and I'll have to clip it out. Rubio's very funny. Yeah. So we'll see. More than likely, I'll just have to clip it out later. You wouldn't like Michelle when she gets mad. I'm not saying that. So let's see. Maybe I should I just pause the music? Maybe if I take the music out and do this and this. Look, he's got diamond teeth underneath. Why do they all have diamond teeth? What is it with the diamond teeth? Can anyone tell me what it is with the diamond teeth? That's why they took me off the trail in 08. Maybe. Hey, what's up, Joe? Good to see you. I don't know. Is that ghetto strong? Yeah, it's ghetto. Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, think about it this way. Those things are just like cemented on your teeth. They're not like, or they're, I don't know. I mean, I would think AI went Disturbia on us. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But like the people that do that, what if a diamond just pops out and you swallow it? I mean, the diamonds are the hardest thing, like can cut through just about anything. And you swallow a diamond and it's going to be sharp. Can't that just cut you all up on the inside? Wouldn't that be bad? Or it's negrosity? Maybe. Am I just being like too literal with this? Another song for later? Okay. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I understand like gold teeth are great. It is a meme and they're taking it too far in the video. Okay. Started early. Yeah, I started early, but I'm going to run late. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I did stream a lot yesterday. I was on a 7-hour stream with Cynic and them, and then I did a 4-hour stream myself. So I did a lot of streaming yesterday. I almost took the night off tonight, but I said, I can't do that. I can't do that to you. I have to be here for you to tell you the news. I have to. Is that JD Prance? That's what it looks like. Isn't that what it looks like? Oh, look at Biden dropped Trump on the wrecking ball. America first. Yeah. Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God. Look at this. They got Crazy Candace in there. Yeah. He streamed at like 2 a.m. I had it playing. Yeah. I was streaming like a long time last night. Swallowing a diamond wouldn't be that bad. Your body would pass it the same way it passes corn. You think so? Isn't it like it's too much? Yeah. Jim's a party animal. I try. I roll. I try. Take a night off. What are you, a Democrat? You a communist? That's what I'm saying. I can't give in. But hold on, I want to go back here for a second because look at it. It's Tucker running with his girlfriend Elon Omar. You just poop it out. Be more worried about someone stealing my teeth. Not Candace Owens. No, this is Ilhan Omar, but this is Candace Owens right here. Like, oh look, and it's the two amigos, Chuck Scummer and Gypries or something. Calling me a Democrat might have crossed the line. Well, here's the thing. I don't take offense. You can call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for supper. Oh, wait. I missed something. What was that? That was really quick. Who's this? Is that Fuentes? Oh, my God. They got Nick Fuentes in like high heels and a rainbow. Timu Obama, Walmart Berry. Like, how is he going to outrun that wrecking ball in those high heels? Wow. Tucker and Candace are the best of the right. I don't want to offend you, Mr. Fidget guy, but Candace Owens has never been on the right of anything. She's always been on the left. Her whole claim to fame was in her leftist doxing, social autopsy scam thing that she tried to do grift when she first came on the scene. And when she realized that she can make more money scamming people on the right, that's what she decided to do. But she has never been on the right of anything. All her opinions have always been leftist opinions. Always. Nick Fuentes is a Fed. He should have no problem. Well, he could get away because he's a Fed. So I don't know if he's a Fed or not. I just think it's kind of suspect that he's the only one of the only people that didn't get arrested for saying to go in on January 6th. That's all. That's all. Wow. Oh, look at Trump. Wow. He's got the Trump thing, and there goes Waltz and them, and AOC running, and they're coming with the wrecking ball. Wow, they're getting them all. Well, you guys get the point. I'll put that in the chat if you guys want to watch it. I'll put this in the chat. You guys want to watch it? You guys can watch it yourself. I don't want to keep playing it without the music because it's kind of weird. But here, it's in the chat. If anybody wants to check that out and watch it themselves, enjoy it. Candace has never been on the right. She made her money from Jews, and now she talks shit about them. Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? So, yeah. 34 felonies, 3 baby mamas, and he lives in government housing. That's gangsta Trump. Hey, everyone. Busy but listening. Well, thanks for being here. Sylvie's here. Yeah, that's awesome to see you. Gypsy's here. I thought you said 7. Are you holding a secret meeting without me? I launched early because Robert ended a little early, and then he, there was some kind of mishap with YouTube where the raid didn't go through. So it is what it is. No worries. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. What do we say? Let's get into the first news story. What do you say? Should we even talk about the goal tonight? I don't even know. Should we even talk about the goal? I guess we could talk about it just a minute. So as everybody knows, we have a goal. For every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, we add an extra hour to the show. It could be YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants. It could be Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, Super Tips, Locals Coins, Kick, Twitch, memberships, and memberships on every other platform. But anyway, I add it all up. When we hit 100, we add an extra hour to the show. And then for each additional 100 that comes in, we add an additional hour to the show. You say Candace is Catholic and pro-life. Well, that's weird because as far as I know, the Pope, who's the head of the Catholic Church, isn't pro-life, and he's a pro-commie. So there's that. I never take serious political advice from anyone who voted for Obama or any lib for that matter. I mean, Candace Owens did vote for Obama. I mean, there's that. Who posted that video? It's DFF. They're called Dumb Fuck Finders. So, hey, look at this. Here's 20. Thank you so much. Yeah. Candace Owens voted Obama. Retard. Thank you so much for the 20. That means right now, folks, we are just 80 away from adding a first additional hour to the show and only 30 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much. Bella, what are you crying about? There's nothing to cry about. There's no crying and streaming. What are you doing, Bella? There's no crying and streaming. Thank you so much for the 20. Not sure about the Pope. That may be true. Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. The last pro-life Pope we've had was named John Paul II. Just saying. Just saying. The last three, not so much. Not so much. So, all right, let's get cracking. What do you say? Appeals court rules that a transgender troop ban is illegal. That's right, folks. You said it. You got it. You understand it. You figured it out. They're saying that we have to have people that suffer from mental illness in the military. Hey, good afternoon. What do you make of Trump's Iran response? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. I don't want to spoil it. Has anyone who called himself how can anyone who calls himself a Catholic not be pro-life? I'll give you a hint. They're all over the Democrat Party. All over the Democrat Party. Joe Biden calls himself a Catholic. So, enough said. Enough said. Nancy Pelosi calls herself a Catholic. Enough said. Do you need me to go on? I mean, just go through the list. And I think in Nancy Pelosi's defense, though, she thought it was cat liquor. Like she didn't realize it was Catholic. She thought it was cat lick. And since that's her hobby in San Francisco is licking cats, if you get my drift. Well, so a Pentagon policy that illegally banned transgender troops from the military, a divided panel of the Federal Appeals Court. And go figure, it was a divided appeals court, which consisted of an Obama judge, a Biden judge, and a Trump judge. So it was divided 2-1. This is going to go to the Supreme Court. This is going to get overturned. Let's have an army full of Corporal Clingers. That's what they want. Who should I trust? Guy who calls people a retard and cites no source, or you? You, that is. I didn't call you a retard. Yeah, Cath Liquor. Nancy is there. Yes. I learn something new each time I watch. Yes. It says, I'm a Catholic and I can tell you Pelosi is not. Her beliefs are not compatible. Just saying. That's all. That's all. Mm-hmm. And like Star Wars Marvel Purist says, if you can't do your own research, you've proven that you are, in fact, retarded. Majority opinion by a 3-judge panel held that Trump's policy was designed to exclude people from the military based on their gender identity. No, based on their mental status. What about the poor, persecuted schizophrenics? The military has to accept them too? Oh, not you? Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. Maybe we have to let all the obese people in too. You know, it's not bad enough. They want to have, free airplane seats. Now we got to have 400-pound people in boot camp, I guess, and 500-pound people jumping out of airplanes with 3 parachutes or something. Does Pelosi lick use catheters? You know what? Maybe that's why she says she's a cat lick, because she likes to take her alcohol in a catheter. Maybe. Just maybe. The ban will remain in effect for now. The Supreme Court let it go through last year as litigation continues to play out, and the appeals court put their own ruling on hold to allow for appeals. Yeah, the Supreme Court already put it on hold and said until the Supreme Court decides it's going to be on hold, that the ban's in place. So we don't have to worry. There's not going to be a whole bunch of Dylan Mulvaney's signing up for the military. Hey, look at it. It's King of Biltongs here. Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So, hey, listen, if you guys like good meats and you like protein and you want to be fit and you want to support an American business, check out the King of Biltong at www.biltongusa.com. They have biltong that's peri-peri, that's very, not super spicy, but spicy. They've got ghost pepper biltong that's extra spicy if you like it fiery. They also got Wagyu. They've got Angus. They've got a bunch of other stuff there that I think is great. They got candies and snacks from around the world. They got different potato chips and stuff. They've got cookies, cakes. They've got everything. Check them out. Use promo code JIM to save 10%. And it's great stuff. It really is. And it's good for you, too. So check out King of Biltong over at www.biltongusa.com. Use promo code JIM. The 8-ounce bags do make excellent gifts. Protein. Yeah, good. Paul Pelosi really, really liked being an altar boy, allegedly. Hey, Karen. What's up? Not Karen. Not that Karen. So the 2-1 panel's decision largely upholds a March 2025 ruling by U.S. District Judge Anna Reyes, who was a Obama appointee psychopath, I think. Maybe. Or maybe a Biden. I don't know. The appeals court decision decided that the injunction should be narrowed to the plaintiffs currently serving in the military, not those trying to enlist. You've got to try the Peri Peri drawers. So good. I have some of those, I think. I have drawers. I don't know if I have the Peri Peri ones. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff recently. It's really good. My son really likes it. My grandson likes it. Everybody likes it. So in January, Trump signed executive order to claim sexual identity of trans service members conflicts with the soldiers' commitment to an honorable, truthful, disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. It is harmful to military readiness. Well, it is. It is. It is harmful. I mean, come on. Come on, people. It's harmful. We can't have these people. Come on. Come on, man. How could they possibly say that this is not legal and unconstitutional when, for, I don't know, ever, it was against the rules? Remember, don't, when I was in the Navy, don't ask, don't tell was a thing. Like, if it was like, as long as you don't say anything, you can still be, in the military. But as soon as somebody said anything about being light in the loafers, they had to go. And that was good law all the way up until Obama. Remember Obama, the guy who claimed he was a Christian, Catholic, and all that good stuff? What part of commander-in-chief does the court not understand? Well, they all think that they're somehow in charge of shit, but they ain't running nothing. The story drove me beyond piss. The judges actually control the country, even the military now. They think they do. They think they do. We need transformers in the military, not transhumans. Yes. Do you know what an arc knife is? Is that the knife that uses like a laser beam to cut type of thing? It's like either a laser beam or an electric beam type of thing, a plasma beam to cut. I believe I know what you're talking about. It's like a spark of plasma or electric field to cut stuff with. Right? Is that what we're talking about? I think so. The policy appears to be driven by the bare desire to harm a politically unpopular group. Deploy them to Iran. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Persons who identify as trans. Well, it's also because they want to do it in the military because then they want our taxpayer dollars to fund it. That's what they want. They got Prez to kill the 17th. Trump killed it? Are you serious? Trump got rid of the fund? The motherfuckers. Is Bella hot? No, she's not. She's just it's early and my grandkids are still up. So she's like, I forgot to take her down. We don't have Bellavision. There you go. Now you don't have to look at her. Trump drops the weaponization fund. Get the fuck out of here. I had a whole story. I knew that was I had a feeling that was going to happen because Chuck Scumbag, Chuck Scumbag, was teaming up with the Republican rhinos to fuck everybody over. The DOJ. Wow. Spider Core arc knife. Hell of a story. Oh, I don't know. I thought you were talking about something else completely. Thune strikes again. Traded it for DHS funding. No. This sucks. This sucks. Now I'm really bad. I wish you guys wouldn't have told me till later in the show because I wish you guys wouldn't have told me because now my blood pressure is as high as Joe's. I see Jim is going for my blood pressure again. Catholic Church tax and Now trans in the military. What's next? So I can have the ambulance on standby. Just a diversion it was. It was designed to be worn in the shower. What? The 1776 fund? You think so? Was a diversion? I don't know. In its dissenting opinion, Judge Justin Walker said judges lack the power to second guess the decision to exclude transgender Jews. It was Thune that did it. Thune's got to go. Thune has got to go. All right. No matter what happens, Thune has to be primaried and run the fuck out. That must be number one priority for all America First MAGA people. Thune has got to go. It was reported on the Gateway Pundit, so let's wait and see. Perhaps he got something good for it. All right. Well, we'll look at it. I had the story about Chuck Schumer threatening and said he's got a plan to team up with the Republicans, rhinos, to take it down. The demon rats and the Republicans. We're going to take it down. That's what they said. We neither have the expertise nor the authority to decide whether the military can exclude the plaintiffs from its ranks. The Constitution assigns the authority to Congress and the commander-in-chief. Judge Judith Rogers was nominated by Bill Clinton, joins Wilkins saying that, but also partially dissented. Trump back Thune. You've been stewing over it for over an hour. More proof every day we're broken. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Basically, same thing for CBS, a divided panel. But this is it's still on hold. They're not coming in. They're not making anybody go in because the Supreme Court already had it on hold anyway. Already told them that it was
In D.C., breaking news out of Washington, D.C. A federal appeals court has ruled that President Trump's ban on transgender troops in the military is illegal. Last year, the president signed an executive order claiming the sexual identity of transgender service members conflicts with a soldier's lifestyle. The Supreme Court allowed the policy to take effect while the case plays out in the courts. Today's appeals court ruling says the policy is driven by the desire to harm people who identify as transgender.
That's bullshit.
Stitch Fix. Stop.
That's bullshit. That's utter bullshit. Yeah. Same thing here from this. Right. Appeals court lets trans in the military.
And breaking news just into the newsroom, a major ruling impacting transgender people already in the U.S. military and those hoping to serve. Scripps News legal affairs correspondent Avajoy Burnett joins me now from our DC newsroom. So Avajoy, what is the ruling and what does it mean?
Hey there, Andrew. This is a decision that is just now coming in, and a federal appeals court based here in Washington, D.C. has said the Trump administration cannot move forward in attempting to block transgender military members from serving. This is something that has been ongoing since President Donald Trump went back into office. He signed hundreds of executive orders, and one of the first executive orders that he signed had to do with transgender military members. And what administration officials have said, including members at the DOD, they have claimed that anyone who is claiming to be a different gender than what they were assigned at birth is
not assigned at birth. Fuck you, assigned at birth. All right? You either got this is bullshit. This is these fucking people who like to talk about science are so anti-science. It's beyond ridiculous.
Quote, not serving honorably, not serving an honorable lifestyle. The lieutenant who was named in this case, his name is Nick Talbot. He was born a girl, but eventually transitioned into being male. And he told me—
He never transitioned into— He never transitioned. No one can change your sex. You're not changing into being a male from a female. It's not happening. Male is a sex. Male. Female, sex. See how they turn to words and use different words to play their fucking games? You're not. You're never going to be a man. Never. Never. Take a break from cleaning. The DOJ allowed an injunction to stand, funds on pause. The DOJ can give the money to Trump, then Trump can set the fund up to give out payment. Well, here's the thing. There's a statute that already gives them the ability to do this. This is ridiculous. Obama did it with race shit all the time, giving out money to NGOs to pass them around to all the BLM groups and all that shit all the time. All the fucking time. Observed at birth, not assigned. Yeah. So was that from the black robe commanders in chief? They make military policy now. Again, why do we vote for president? Yeah. Yeah, no trans in the military. Yes, it's totally insane. It's insane. They don't assign gender, ridiculous language. Yeah. She grew a wiener. Well, was it an Oscar Mayer wiener? You know, because my baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MEYER. I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, because Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA. And that still ain't going to make you grow a dick. So he had to cut his tallywhacker off, maybe. Or it was a she. I don't know. They fuck confuse me so much, I can't even tell. That's the game. Get you to talk like their retarded ways and then accept what happens. Thune has already been giving reprisals. I await the people's reprisals of primarying Thune. Jim's indignation is palpable. It is. The midget fairy is their science. Yes. Stan can't be Loretta. You haven't got a womb. Yeah. That's like trans men that can menstruate. Yeah. Let Bella out. All right, I'll let Bella out. All right. She grew a beard. So did my cousin Alberta. Was it a foot long? It could be. So hold on.
With him some time ago as he awaited this decision, that he for a very long time knew that he wanted to be a military service member, and because of that he really fought this battle not just for himself but for the possibility of maybe 4,200 additional service members who could potentially have been impacted by this particular ruling. And now they have a victory. The court, this was a 3-judge panel, and they said it appears as if the Trump administration had no reasoning for really eliminating or trying to eliminate these transgender people from serving in the military, because the Trump administration provided no proof that these people were unable to serve honorably.
How about the fact that they want to get free surgeries and that they're going to be unable to do anything for, a year or so out of their service? So what the fuck are we doing here? This is ridiculous. Hey, you need to do a bit of work. Well, thanks for stopping by, King of Biltong. Hope to see you soon again. Yeah, la 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 la. Yeah, Thune is not up until 2028, but can be removed from his leadership spot yesterday. Republicans are poo-poo-poos. SCOTUS won't take the case on trans. They would have to say what is definitely obvious. This case already went to SCOTUS once, and SCOTUS put everything on hold already, and they said no, this is so this appeals court ruling actually does nothing. SCOTUS is going to take this case. They have to take this case. Them not taking the case would mean that they'd have to let schizophrenics, people who are bipolar, people with multiple personality disorders, because basically, let's face it, somebody who thinks they're a different sex actually is suffering from mental illness. That's what it is. I'm sorry. It is. It's mental illness. They want the government to pay for the drugs. Yeah. Sent to Alaska. Then there's Talrico, who said Mother Mary could have had an abortion and Jesus was different genders. Yeah. Yeah. He actually said that, if I'm not mistaken, that he said something about I don't know. Anyway, I don't get into it. Why should I follow you in a battle which could lead to my death if you can't figure out what bathroom you need to shit in when you wake up? Bella is a girl. Yeah, she is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christine. With that means right now, folks, we are just 60 away from adding a first additional hour to the show, and only $10 away from Bellavision, which I was bullied by the chat to let Bella out of the room. So even if I was to get Bellavision, there's no Bella here. She's out of the room. So I'll get her back if we hit Bellavision. I'll make her come back in. I will. See? You could have little mini Bella. There she is. There's little baby Bella's babies there. Bella's babies there. Anyway, yes. Thank you so much, though, Christine. Fine, let the trans in, but before they can get their surgery, they must serve 10 years minimum. And what happens when they're in combat and have no access to hormone blockers? Or what happens when they're in combat and they have to use their dilation equipment, like all that stuff? Come on. They are expensive and disruptive. Yeah. Insulin. Yeah, they got to let the insulin-dependent diabetics in now, too. Yeah, they got to do that. They will also take all physical requirements, and you will have rangers getting winded walking up to a second-floor barracks. Yeah. Ghost Bella, she's here. Thank you. Talrico said God asked Mary for her concern to have Jesus, and people that call themselves Christians in Texas will still vote for him. They better not. Like, anybody who calls themselves a Christian that votes for Talrico is basically being led by the Antichrist. That's what's happening here. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. I'm just double checking something. Oh, I had a call from North Miami. I wonder who that was. So, did God use Joe's sperm? I don't. That's what I'm saying.
And unable to move forward with the mission at hand. I have been in communication with the attorney who represented Lieutenant Nick Talbot, and this is what he sent me just moments ago as they reacted to this victory from this federal appeals court. They said this is a huge relief for these service members and their families. We expect the government to seek a state of...
Okay, first of all, it's not a state. It's not a state. It's a stay. And the ruling is already stayed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court already stayed everything until they decide to either take up the case, like they did it. Like it went up on emergency appeal to the Supreme Court when someone put like a temporary restraining order or a permanent restraining order on it going into effect. It went up to the Supreme Court already in 2025, and the Supreme Court said, no, this can go into effect. No, you don't have, you're going to lose to the people suing. So the Supreme Court's already kind of weighed in on this. They won't last 10 years and make them non-deployable to do this crap. They must have their new equipment that makes you eligible to get kicked out. Led or willfully giving themselves to the Antichrist. The Billboard Chris guy from Canada is doing a great job helping end this trans nonsense. He's helping those who regret it. Visits the universities too. Yeah, he's doing a lot of good stuff. He's been attacked and everything. It's been crazy. I thought the EO was written about the medical needs. It was. They just completely ignored it. They completely ignored it. And they said, no, they just don't like trans people. What? No.
This ruling, they perhaps mean a stay right there. This is something that was rapidly sent over to me. However, we will do everything we can to explain to the Supreme Court why it should allow this decision to stand while the case proceeds. So a reference there to the Supreme Court, this decision came from a federal appeals court, and the attorneys who were representing Lieutenant
None now. There's none in the military now. They've all been kicked out. There's none in the military. They've all been removed. So, Bella's back, trying to come in.
They anticipate that the Trump administration will be filing an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court to ask the High Court to block about 42 transgender military members from continuing to serve in the military. This ruling that came out earlier today also said people who are trying to enter the military, if they are transgender, they would not be able to do so. So while this is a win for folks who right now are in the military and are transgender service members, this could be a loss for people who are currently transgender folks who are trying to enter the military. According to this ruling, they will not be able to do so. So once again, a major update from a federal appeals court here in Washington, D.C., where they are saying the Trump administration, the Department of Defense specifically, they're not able to move forward in trying to block transgender service members from serving in the military, transgender service members who are currently enrolled in the military. Andrew?
I thought they were all kicked out.
Okay, some major news there with much more to come. Our legal affairs correspondent, Abijoy Burnett, for us. Abijoy, thank you.
Yeah, so that's happening, and that's really upsetting. And we've seen time and again, President Trump's EO's executive power is just an illusion, whereas Obama's was sacrosanct. Yeah. Hi from Robert's Pals. Well, hi, how you doing, Dirk Gently? So thank you for being here so much. I hope you like the show. Please stick around, check it out, see if you like it. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. This channel's just kind of started growing a little bit and trying to build an audience. We appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and either, follow, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. The Troon Patrol. Yeah. What news is this lady? This is what is this? KJRH U.S. News. I mean, I get the news from where I get Scripps, I believe. Scripps News Service. I couldn't get back surgery where I was within 12 months of retiring from the Air Force. Yeah. Nice TV. Oh, the one in the front room? Oh, yeah. It's a 108-inch. 108-inch TV. It's a nice one. Hey, what's up, Weezy Bob? Great to see you. Diamond G's here, too. What's up? I hope you got it all worked out, though. Were you able to get it? Did they cover it for as of? Did the military at least cover the cost of the back surgery? I hope, or did they screw you? Okay. Yeah, and Bella's back, but we're still $10 away from Bellavision. Just saying. If anybody was interested in that. Let's move on to the next news story of the evening. It says Iran suspends negotiations with the U.S. Wait, I should say, I believe from everything I've read that case has already stayed from the Supreme Court. That it was an administrative stay on their orders already, and it's until it's decided by the Supreme Court, it's going to stay stayed. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Have to watch it. We'll have to keep an eye on it. They would have covered Rachel Levine. Yeah. Iran has suspended the peace negotiations with the U.S. on Monday, saying Israel's attacks on southern Lebanon violated the fragile ceasefire. Free Bella. Oh, we have to gotta wait for has to wait for the monies. CFINO. I don't know what that means. CFINO. Something F in name only. Chelsea Manning couldn't keep his mouth shut. Yeah. We already got to see her dragging her butt on the carpet. You got it done after you retired, but did they pay for it? Did the military pay for it, though, or did you have to pay for it? What was my question? The Gateway Pundit reported negotiations between the U.S. and Iran were ongoing as Trump sought amendments to the largely negotiated framework of a 60-day memorandum of understanding. Like, all these words and stuff are just crazy. Gundam says, when I had spine surgery with all my other medical issues that put me into medical retirement, the doc said I was no longer of any value to the military. But these freaks, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how we're all supposed to be like just ignoring this stuff. I don't get it. Ceasefire in name only. Okay. Now I get it. Ceasefire in name only. So the plan would be a 60-day ceasefire extension, the reopening of the Straits. Yeah, that's what they keep saying. The concessions on nuclear enrichment and an Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire. Israel reportedly made its deepest incursion inside Lebanon in 2 decades, seizing Beaufort Castle. Israel planned to continue strikes in Beirut on Monday after ordering the evacuation of Dania suburb, according to Trey Yingst. Israel orders evacuation of Dania ahead of possible strikes. Well, see, at least they do that, so that way they're not killing civilians. CENTCOM announced this morning that ballistic missiles from Iran were intercepted targeting U.S. bases in Kuwait. Due to continuation of the Zionist regime's actions in Lebanon, and given that Lebanon was one of the preconditions, the ceasefire has now been violated, and Iran's team will suspend talks and the exchange of text through mediators. Okay, so I guess then it's just the war's on then, right? That's what that means then? I guess it's time. It's time to just let them off the chain, as they say. Hey, Margie, what's up? Thanks for being here. The U.S. military and Iran exchanged strikes over the weekend and into Monday, the latest outburst of violence amid the ostensible ceasefire agreed to in April. Tazim added that the government will consider a full closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The only thing it's hurting by having the strait closed is really China. I mean, really. Everyone else is getting oil. They're paying a little bit more, though. The government did not comment officially, although official statements have been transmitted. Iran's foreign minister, Sayed Abbas Aragachi, Domo Origato, Mr. Aragachi, released a statement on X saying the ceasefire is unequivocal, and the U.S. is unequivocally a ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon. The U.S. and Israel are responsible for the consequences of any violations. Iran halts talks with the U.S. over Israeli escalation in Lebanon. The New York Post says Trump says, I really don't care if the very boring Iran talks break down before telling Netanyahu to keep Israelis out of Lebanon. No. I had a very productive call with Bibi, and there will be no troops going to Beirut, and any troops that are on their way have already turned back. I had a very good call with Hezbollah, and they agreed the shooting will stop. What? You had a call with Hezbollah? Hezbollah? They're over. Likewise, though a highly placed representative had a good call with Hezbollah. Talks are continuing at a rapid pace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't know. Scheduled negotiating meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday are set to convene and discuss progress to build on. It seems like, why is there no Iranian Air Force or Navy, according to the administration, but we are basically begging them to open the strait? The message is fucked. I'm MAGA and support Trump, but not good. Just saying. I know. I don't get it either. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't. I spoke with Trump and told him that if Hezbollah does not cease attacking our cities, Israel will attack the terror targets in Beirut. The stance of ours remains unchanged. So if that's what's going on, so basically you've got the Hezbollah, which are proxies of Iran, attacking Israel. And then if Israel attacks them back, then it's like, you're violating the ceasefire. No, you're violating the ceasefire. No, you're violating the ceasefire. The IRGC said that Tehran would stop communicating with Washington. Well, you know what? We've had enough talk. Now it's time for action. Let the bombers do the talking for you. Yep, send in the BFFs. The buffs. Send in the BUFFs, the big, ugly, fat fucks. That's what they call them. In light of ongoing crimes, whatever. The announcement immediately affected oil prices, which jumped 5%. Immediate halt to aggression by the Zionist regime in Gaza and Lebanon. Necessary complete withdrawal from occupied areas of Lebanon. It makes them sound foolish, like we are not winning. I'm happy with it. Oh, they should just go Baldives or wait till after the elections. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Let them on. They have shitloads of surface-to-air missiles they can fire from caves underground. The strait's a small area, which makes it easier for them to attack just about anywhere in the vicinity. Well, all the locations where these things are should be under constant bombardment. They don't need an Army or Air Force, Navy or Air Force to fire the missiles. There should be just nonstop rotations of bombers flying at 50,000 feet, fully loaded, ready to just unleash on them. I don't get it. I don't. La Raza for Trump says, I see it differently. POTUS isn't begging. For the first time, the USA is blockading RHC oil. The markets have shrugged it off. Iran lost their ace card. No rush. Well, I mean, it's affecting people in the U.S. It's affecting people with, that are not happy about paying $4 for gas, $4.50 for gas. There's that problem. I just like my granny always said, it's time to shit or get off the pot. The resistance front and Iran have resolved to pursue a complete closure and activation on all fronts, including Bab el-Mandeb Strait, as part of their agenda. The Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Trump said, it doesn't mean we're going to go and start dropping bombs all over there. We'll keep the blockade. Why not? As a Star Wars fan, I've never liked the Sand People. No, I never have. Iran has tens of thousands of missiles. I don't know about tens of thousands. I heard they had like thousands, but I don't know about tens of thousands. Less than when FJB was in office. Send the trans troops first. Despite Iran's claims, Tehran has remained in touch with chief mediator in the Pakistanis and expressed serious concern over developments in the region, including the ceasefire violations. A source with knowledge declined to confirm or deny the report, noting that anything official will be communicated. We need Operation Linebacker 1 and 2 with the side of Rolling Thunder 24/7 until. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. I'm not a warmonger either, but sometimes the biggest badass has to show some force instead of just claiming strength. I have to agree. The report came after Arghachi claimed any ceasefire is a ceasefire on all fronts. Look at that stuff going up. That's a crazy picture, right? All the stuff flying up, doing crazy stuff, chasing stuff. The United States and Israel bear responsibility for the consequences of any breach in the truce. But hasn't Iran been doing stuff the whole time also, like launching drones, hitting shit? I mean, this is all smoke and mirrors and bullshit. I mean, every day I'm reading stories about Iran launched a drone against Kuwait. Iran launched missiles against UAE. Iran did this. Iran did that. I mean, at some point, someone's going to have to go, hey, I guess we are in a war and maybe we should act like it.
Unable to be independently confirmed. This is just what Iranian state media is saying, that the negotiations are on ice from Iran's perspective as long as there's fighting in Lebanon. It does, however, line up with some of the public warnings that they have given, even just today. Look at what their foreign minister put out just a short while ago when it comes to the ceasefire. They're saying the ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. is unequivocally a ceasefire on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Its violation on one front is a violation of the ceasefire on all fronts. The U.S. and Israel are responsible for the consequences of any violation. So you have tensions out west in Lebanon, but you also have tensions here in the Gulf after we saw yet another episode of Iran and the United States exchanging missile fire overnight. The United States framing these as self-defense strikes on radar site, launch facilities inside of Iran after an American drone was shot down over international waters. Iran, in its own right, ended up firing 2 ballistic missiles at Kuwait, which is where several bases of U.S. troops are currently stationed right now. None were injured. And while it seems as though that things are stabilizing here again in the region, well, the point being is that the Strait of Hormuz is at the heart of all of this, with the president saying he would like to get the Strait of Hormuz open with a deal, but he's very specific about the terms he's looking for. Here's what he said on that.
I would rather get a deal because we can open the strait immediately upon signing. One guarantee that I have to have is that there will be no nuclear weapons. They've agreed to that. If you're going to be in a hurry, you're not going to make a good deal. And slowly but surely, we're getting, I think, what we want. And if we don't get what we want, we're going to end it a different way.
We moved from the president hosting a situation room meeting on Friday to discuss the deal that was in front of him to now indications pointing to the deal being sent back to Iran for some adjustments. Now you have this Iranian state media reporting coming out suggesting that Iran is prepared to step away from negotiations here. All of this at a very sensitive time here in the region.
Oh, so sensitive time in the region. Trump tells CNBC, I don't care if Iran negotiations are over.
With President Trump, what can you tell us?
Kelly, that's right. I called President Trump a short time ago, and he picked up to talk about the negotiations over the weekend with the Iranians. We had this report at the top of the day today that the Iranians were actually breaking off negotiations with the United States. That moved oil markets,
And so that's what I asked the president about. I said, do you think the negotiations are over now, or is this a bluff by the Iranians? The president said, I don't care if they're over, honestly. I really don't care. I couldn't care less. If they're over, they're over. If they're not, I think they took too much time. Frankly, I think they started to get a little boring. The president said he thinks that the Iranian side was tapping us along. That is, that they were stalling for time. Ultimately,
Joe, you're never going to get put on timeout here, bud. Never. All right. I respect your opinions. I say this. Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize and stopped the bombing too early, thinking he was dealing with crazy human beings, not realizing they're fanatics beyond insanity. Yeah, that's 100% correct. You're 100% correct. Moved oil markets. Please a tick up and down. It's been stable for a long time. It will drop. Yeah, it will. I apologize. Sometimes I go too crazy. You're fine, Joe. You're just fine, Joe. You've done nothing wrong. Nothing. I'm going to end the Ukraine war on day one. Well, I mean, it could end. He could end the Ukraine war right away. All he'd have to do is say, yeah, we're not helping Ukraine at all anymore. So that would end it. They'd have no choice but to capitulate. But, Russia.
On oil prices, the president was confident that he said oil will be dropping like a rock. He said, ultimately, if the Iranians want to try and have a nuclear weapon, I will blow them up to kingdom come. He said what this is all about for him is a strongly held conviction that the Iranians should not ever be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, and that American voters will tolerate higher gas prices as long as they know what the goal is here. I also asked him about Netanyahu and the Israelis. I asked, it seems to be that the Iranians are saying they're not going to negotiate until Israel stops attacking in Lebanon. Have you talked to Netanyahu about it? I asked the president. He said, this is about 40 minutes ago, he said, no, but I'm going to ask him what's going on with Lebanon. They've been fighting for a long time. Now, since our call, just in the past couple of minutes, we've seen a report on Reuters that crossed the wires a short time ago, suggesting that the president has now called Netanyahu to discuss that. But at the time that he and I spoke, he suggested that, in fact, they had not talked yet. So then I asked him, what is the end game here in terms of the Strait of Hormuz? How ultimately are we going to get out of the situation that we're in? The president said he thinks that NATO should come in and help the United States out. He said they're the ones, he said, we don't use the Strait. We don't need it. We have a lot of oil. And I said, have you talked to anybody at NATO about that? Have they changed their tune on coming in to help the United States in the Strait? He said they would if I wanted to, but we don't need them. We don't need NATO. They were very weak and very sad. And the last thing I would leave you with is this idea of, where we go from here. I asked the president, when all this is over, how do you bring this to an end if negotiations are not happening and the ceasefire is in place? I asked him, is it time to end the ceasefire? And the president said, we'll see. Let's say I knew exactly what what you're asking me to do, and I sort of do know it. Why would I tell you? So the president there suggesting that he does have a plan that he's not going to talk to the media about. Naturally.
Yeah, I paid $4.06 a gallon today to get gas. I'm not happy with it, but it was more expensive in 2022. You just got a pop-up notification from Asmongold. Hassan can't go anywhere anymore. Ooh, yeah. He's can't. I covered that last night. He was trying to go to. England, and they refused him and his uncle Chunk. Chunk Yogurt can't go either. No more chunky yogurts in England. Can't go. No more chunky yogurts can go to England. You still haven't gotten gas since April, but next time I go somewhere, I'll need to. All right. And then this happened. U.S. military attacks Iran in self-defense over the weekend. Yeah, let's just publicize our next move. That's always wise. Yeah, just tell them this is what we're going to do. Kind of like Biden did when he said we're going to leave and leave everything in Afghanistan. Remember that? This happened over the weekend. Supposedly, this guy submitted his resignation, but didn't. Then they wouldn't let him quit.
Welcome to Fox News Live. I'm Marianne Rafferty. A potential peace deal between the U.S. and Iran remains in limbo after President Trump reportedly asked for several changes to an agreement reached by both sides last week. The request follows a Friday meeting with his national security team. Axios reports the changes include tougher language on Iran's nuclear commitments and its pledge to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The president is also apparently concerned about financial relief for Tehran under the proposal. The volley of proposed changes coming a week after Trump declared a deal largely finalized. Adding to the uncertainty, reports out of Iran claim President Masoud Pezeshkian has submitted his resignation, saying his government has been sidelined by hardline factions. President Trump warning the U.S. is ready to resume military action if needed.
Good. It's about time. CENTCOM conducted self-defense strikes on Iranian radar and command control sites for the drones.
So now to this, a controversial proposal in Oregon is drawing.
I hate that Fox does that. They'll start playing videos after you pause it and close out. So the measured and deliberate strikes occurred Saturday and Sunday in response to aggressive Iranian actions, including the shoot down of a U.S. MQ-1 Reaper drone that was operating over international waters. Do you think the Strait of Hormuz in the future will be irrelevant because of, especially with insurance companies? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. You know, if other countries follow Saudi Arabia, UAE's, moves to move their oil out through the Red Sea, maybe. Too bad people don't know how high gas prices could be under a net zero nut like Kamala. Oh, God, yeah, you ain't kidding. I know I'm pissed and worn out when I can't even finish a smart-ass comment. Well, yeah, Biden even left our dogs in Afghanistan. Yeah. Can you believe he did that? Can you believe it? Have you heard about this? Do you know about this? They left our dogs there? Thanks for the time change. I like the new time. I know it's been a few weeks on the change, but it's nice. Yeah, I during the week I try to start early at 7-ish, depending on when Rob Gouveia is going, because me and him, this whole thing, he's been helping me with raids and stuff like that. So I do that. Then on weekends I go a little later, and then Thursdays I usually stream with Joe at like 10:30. So, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday I usually stream at 7, right around 7 or 8. If Rob starts at 9 at 6 instead of 5, then I'll start at 8 instead of 7. But that's about it. We all know that the target packages are done and updated daily if we restart. Well, I hope so. They rescued the dogs in Afghanistan. Not all of them, from what I know, some people tried, but not all of them. A bunch of them got left. A bunch of them couldn't get rescued. So yeah, fighter aircraft responded by eliminating Iranian air defenses, a ground control station, and 2 one-way attack drones that pose clear threats to ships transiting regional waters. Trump warns that they will finish the job. We'll just finish the job. No American service members were harmed. CENTCOM continues to protect U.S. assets and interests in response to the unwarranted Iranian aggression. How reliable are Iran media reports? Trump is saying he's still talking to Iran. I don't know. I mean, you know about it? Pissed you off? Yeah. He left half the K9. He left the K9 military dogs, about 75 of them. Yeah. I know some people tried to get some, but there was like a whole issue with it. And so Associated Press reported Kuwait noted its air defenses opened fire on Monday to intercept drones and missile attacks. So, I mean, how is it a ceasefire if they're attacking Kuwait and other places and trying to attack us and we're attacking them? That doesn't sound like any ceasefire I've ever heard of. Oh, okay, sorry. Jim, is it possible for you to leave the comments up from other chats a smidge longer? I like to read them. Okay, I understand. We're saying like this one, he left the K9 military dogs, as I recall. Yeah, I understand, because those you don't. All right, yeah, I get it. Because the ones from like Twitch, Kick, and Rumble are not in it. Like this, we all know that the target packages are done and updated. Biden prevented private planes from rescuing the dogs. Yeah, can you believe that? That's sick. Yeah. Grizzle McThornbody, thanks for being here. If Kamala Harris had won, just look at California gas prices, but imagine them nationwide. Yep, I do. I apologize. I read very fast sometimes, faster than I should. Wow. Look at that. Wrench Turner gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. If you don't have a membership over there on Rumble and you jump in there, you'll get one, because right now there's still one left. We have Nixie Nix got one. Nixie Nix got one. King of Biltong got one. Anne Marie got one. Neurodivergent one got one. Yeah, Nixie Nix got one. Thank you, Wrench Turner. King of Biltong got one. Thank you, Wrench Turner. Anne Marie got one. Thank you, Wrench Turner. Neurodivergent one. Thank you. 4 out of 5. We're still waiting for one. Yes. And what that means, we got Bellavision now. So thank you for the Bellavision. And that means we're now just $30 away from adding a first additional hour. Thank you so much. No, I'm sorry. $35 away. My bad. 35. My math was off. Bad math. Thank you, Wrench Turner. Rumble Clap Outbreak. 50 day. American Dreamer, did you see me this morning in CFC chat? Because I kept trying to get your attention and talk to you. And I saw you saying you don't see me. If you don't see me in their chat, that would mean something weird going on. Yeah. You didn't see me this morning? Wow. I was in the chat. I kept trying to talk to you in the chat. That's weird. If the border czar was elected, we'd still have open borders. I mean, I saw you super chatted. Somebody chat for the 5th. Yeah. I saw you say like a super chat to them saying like, I don't see Jim. Is he here? What is CFC, the Council on Future Conflicts? It's a show that runs, hey, JP Schwartz got it. JP Schwartz from Texas got it. So thank you. Wrench Turner for the 5 gifted memberships. Yeah. I listened to a bit of CFC this AM, needed to finish their show later. Yeah. Thank you, Wrench Turner. Jay Schwartz received a gifted membership. Yes, greetings. NASCAR Mo's here. What's up? What's up, A.R. Wilson? How you doing? You said hello to me. That was the only way. Yeah, I know. But I was talking to you. I saw you in there, and I kept saying hi to you. That's why I don't know what's going on. There's something weird going on. CENTCOM said on Monday that last night at 11 p.m. Eastern, forces successfully intercepted 2 Iranian ballistic missiles targeting American forces in Kuwait. Missiles were immediately defeated and no personnel were harmed. Asserting that Iran really wants to strike an agreement, Trump declared on Monday, Truth Social Post, that the chattering crickets are making it more difficult for him to negotiate. Yes, thank you, Wrench Turner. Hey, howdy, y'all. Hit the thumbs up, please. Thanks, and have a great evening. I'll be working overnight, so last chance for my sleep. Well, thank you, Critter Sitter. Enjoy your sleep. Kind of like you and Joe's chat. I don't know. I mean, sometimes people I don't know how I could be. I don't think I'm banned in their chat. I just think maybe something must have happened. Maybe American Dreamer actually accidentally blocked me. You'll have to go into your YouTube settings and look for blocked accounts or something. Curl Fluorocarbon, CFCs. Well, CFC chat is the Council on Future Conflict. Rumble had that glitch fixed for all 5 minutes. Now I'm double rashed. Oh man. That's messed up. Oh, here. Well, let's Trump speaking on the ceasefire. I guess we can listen to this a little bit.
Okay, well, Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us back here to the White House.
Thank you.
One of the things that I think...
Is that his daughter-in-law? His daughter-in-law is interviewing him for Fox.
Everybody wants to talk about with you is Iran. Obviously, I know it's top of mind for you. You have actually said
Hey,
you either
thanks,
want
Lynn.
a good deal or no deal at all
Right.
with Iran. So what does a good deal look like for you?
Well, first of all, there's no deal that's good enough because the media will cover it. And we're making a great deal. We're going to make it a great deal. Or we'll just go back and finish it off militarily. But this would go faster. It's probably better on a humane standpoint. There's something nice about it also. You know, save a lot of lives, whether it's the other side or
Has
not.
her own
Save a
show.
lot of lives. But we're close to a very good deal. And if we can make it good, otherwise we just start up with the Department of War, as we call it. And it's been very successful. You saw Venezuela. It was a one-day win. And this is really a win already. We've defeated their military, essentially defeated their military. I would rather get a deal because we can open the Strait immediately upon signing. The one guarantee that I have to have is that there will be no nuclear weapons. They've agreed to that. And it was very.
It's not Minority Report for Wars. It's just the Council on Future Conflict. It's a bunch of guys who are like retired military, and there's one guy who's still active duty who's actually I think he's exiting out, right, doing his exit stuff right now to get out. I think he's a captain or lieutenant colonel, not quite sure exactly. And then there was a colonel on there. Was a guy that was on there who's now in the Trump administration, Mike Shelby. And then there's a couple guys who are like master sergeants, stuff like that, sergeant majors, stuff like that. You know, Marines, Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, all that stuff. They're all a bunch of different people. Yeah, that YouTube doesn't default to the all chat bugs me. Oh, it bugs me too. It doesn't, you know. And actually, and that's another thing that's because YouTube does not default to all chat. StreamYard picks up the chat in top chat. So sometimes I'll see stuff and I have to go to YouTube to look for it to find it.
Interesting. They originally said, we will not develop a nuclear weapon. I said, well, what happens if you buy a nuclear weapon? So now it says we will not develop or in any way purchase a military weapon. That's a big difference. So we're getting what we want slowly. Very tough negotiators. It takes a long time. I'm in no hurry. I'd like to say I'm in a hurry because, you know, gasoline prices are going to come tumbling down. But if you're going to be in a hurry, you're not going to make a good deal. And slowly but surely, we're getting, I think, what we want. And if we don't get what we want, we're going to end it a different way.
So that's interesting because I think everyone has acknowledged that the United States has been in a defensive position against Iran. They've been aggressive to some extent, and we've been defensive. Is there a line that they would cross for you to go on the offensive again militarily?
Well, a deal that wasn't going to be good for us is the line, ultimately, because, you know, I'm playing it out and we're going to see. And that's what I do. I negotiate. They negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards because we've defeated them militarily. Look, they have no Navy. Every ship, they have 159 ships. Every one of them are at the bottom of the sea. Every single one. We take pictures of them. We have people going down taking pictures of hundreds of ships. Their Navy is totally gone, 100%. Their Air Force is totally gone, 100%. Their military, we've sort of left it alone because we think that their military is somewhat moderate. They have other people that aren't moderate. We've taken them out. We've taken different forms of leadership out. We've actually left their military alone. People would be surprised to hear that because mistakes have been made in wars where you wipe out everybody and then you have a country that's, you know, for 40 years can never rebuild. You look at what happened with Iraq. We did so bad. That was such a foolish thing, what we did. Shouldn't have been there in the first place, by the way.
Yeah, shouldn't have been there in the first place. Yeah, we shouldn't have. We made a mistake by taking all the people that knew how to run the country, that were in the military, the police, and all that. And we basically took them out. That's right. JimTellsYou himself gifted away 5 memberships, and then another 5. Those are my monthly 10 that I can give away. So I did that, and that means that it says John McGarvey got one, Miss Beekster, the goggles do nothing, Wuhan fried bat, and Susie Q, and then Asia Damat, Jason Lazette, Rachel Nelson, Callie Prepper, Oh, it's another. Look at that. There's another glitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another time that YouTube only shows me 4 memberships. So YouTube is ripping people off one membership at a time, not giving them out. Huh. That's ridiculous. That's not good. No problem. I like every month I give away 10. Absence Mine says evening, just got off work. The schedule's frustrating unless I cheat at work and watch on the clock. I don't do that. I don't want you to get in trouble at work. You think Iran's claims are playing to the Western media and they suck it up? Yeah, that's what's happening. They're going to promise that'll do it. Yeah, they're going to pinky swear. You forgot how to set yourself to get memberships? The easiest way to do it is to go into, like, you're going to give away a membership, and then there's like a 3 dots you click on. Like I could show you real quick if you want. It's real easy. See, have you blocked someone? No, I haven't blocked nobody. I have nobody blocked at all. None. Not for my channel. Maybe it's called skimming. I think so. Unless it's somebody that I have blocked. And I don't have anybody blocked from the channel, but maybe I have them. I don't know. Is there a way to block somebody? Maybe I block somebody on someone else's channel. Maybe that's it. They didn't want to see their stuff. They had it fixed briefly before the last round of updates. Yeah. Welcome new members. Yes. The U.S. doesn't need them to open it. The blockade proves the world is fine without their oil. You only see 4? YouTube is asshole. Yeah, I only see 4 on the second one. I see a total of 9. I gifted 10. I only see 9.
And shouldn't have been in Iran, but Iran has the capability. If we didn't hit them with the B-2 bombers 9 months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon right now, and it would be a whole different story. Probably would have used it. You probably wouldn't have had you wouldn't have had Israel, but you probably wouldn't have had a Middle East. And then where do they go from there? And you get to see that when you see that when we went back, they had missiles aimed at Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain. They all got hit. And we were surprised. I was surprised. Actually, I viewed it as a positive because all those people came immediately to our side. They got hit. Now, they could have taken another view. They could have said, well, we want no part of it. Not that they like it, but they came to our side. And Iran is in a very bad position. They have no military. All they have is good talk, and they have a fake press. You know, the fake news is probably their biggest asset. And I put something out on Truth the other day that I think was very profound. It said that we wipe out their military, we wipe out their Navy, their Air Force, their anti-aircraft, we wipe out everything, we wipe out their leadership, and then we wipe out their leadership a second time. And then a 2.5 time, we're dealing with the other half. And by the way, they're much more reasonable, and you could say that's regime change. But I said, so they would then raise the white flag of surrender. We give up to the great American military, the most powerful military. We give up, we give up, we give up. The New York Times would say, Iran has fought bravely and has defeated the United States of America. I mean, the coverage is so bad. You have a big win in a battle, and they say you lost. You knock out their entire Navy, and they say their Navy's doing fantastically. No, it was defeated, totally defeated. And they said, it's just a terrible thing for our country. And, you know, to really be great, you need a fair media. And we don't
You do. You need a fair media.
Have a fair media. I mean, that's all they can do is lie.
Well, that's
all they can do is lie. That's all they do is lie. Nonstop. Just lie, 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 lie. A lot of that going around. A lot of that going around. A lot of that going around. Iran shoots down U.S. drone, attacks Kuwait as American forces target Missile City. Our finger remains on the trigger. American fighters swiftly responded by eliminating Iranian air defenses and a ground control station around Missile City. Hey, Zixie, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for being here tonight. No service members were hurt. That's the drone. That's an expensive drone. If I'm not, I think those are like think those are 13 million bucks or something, those drones. Yeah, King of Biltong knows how to thank people. Says, thank you, Wrench Turner. So, yeah. So we saw all this stuff. That's an F-35. That's one of them VTOL ones. Strategic islands around the straits. You've got Karg Island. It's their primary oil terminal. Handles 90% of their exports. You got Greater Tund is disputed. Position near Western shipping. Lesser Tund is disputed. You got the Abu Musu. You got Hangam. Their naval operations support. That plane is sexy. It is. Iraq and Hormuz. Located at the mouth. So they got all these islands. All these islands. All right. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. We're going to keep watching it. We're going to see what happens with this. At some point, the U.S. is going to have, in my opinion, the U.S. is going to have to just hit them harder, I guess. I mean, going to have to. So you guys saw this story about this guy that was in England. On a positive note, California's looking good for tomorrow. Well, I hope so, man. I'm praying. Iran has both an Air Force and aerospace force. The aerospace force controls the missiles and the drones. So the kid got stabbed, Henry Nowak, and that the police handcuffed him because the Indian guy who stabbed him said he was being racist to me. So a university student tried desperately to tell police he'd been stabbed, then he couldn't breathe. And this is the body cam footage. The police tried to deny that he said he was stabbed, that they didn't know, and blah, blah, blah. This video should have people way more upset than anything that average cost for an MQ-9 is $34 million. Oh, wow. Wow. That's a lot of money. He was killed by an Indian man who lied and said he was the victim of a racist attack, a tactic often used and encouraged by the leftists to get an upper hand against others. I mean, that's what they do. That's the constant thing. They always accuse people of being racist, and then it makes people go, oh, people are racist. We can't hold people responsible for killing racist people. You know, it's happening right now with Chud the Builder. Chud's racist, so him, got to hold him responsible for defending himself. You can't breathe. Yeah. Open season.
He was on the bin on the other side of this gate.
He's jumped over these fences and stuff like that.
And he's up here.
Away, mate.
He's obviously fallen from there and he slipped from there.
There's other shooters left over there, mate. What's your name, mate? Huh? Has anyone been hurt other than him?
Yeah, me. He's grabbed my brother. He's took my turban off. Started grabbing my head.
Are you injured?
Yeah, I've got swollen eye, little bruise.
Alright, just step back a little bit for me. Someone flag these down.
Right,
let's get you out of there, shall we?
I was in bed asleep. Whenever the phone up there, I can't breathe.
Grab his other arm. What's happened to you, alright?
Been stabbed.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? Don't think you have, mate.
I don't think you have.
Hand?
You see the blood on his hand.
Oh, I can't breathe.
Put the hand in the cuff, mate.
Yeah. This is like times this has happened to us. We've been walking, we can't multiple times we've had people racist, nothing happened.
He's saying he's been stabbed, so
Where
let's
is it
just
you
check
think you've
him.
been stabbed? In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
No.
Oh, but why we have to check, don't we? You can see the blood on the ground. They picked a jury for it. You can see the blood on the ground. This is crazy. They're like, the woman's like, well, we should probably check, shouldn't we? He hasn't been stabbed. And the people, all these other Indian people that were part of this, that hid the fucking knife, that did all the other shit, should all be in fucking jail too. All of them. They're all responsible for this guy's death. They lied. Instead of trying to give him aid when he's stabbed and try to save his life, they just tried to lie. Like, what did they think? He wasn't eventually just going to fucking die because he's stabbed? They're going to think it just came from nowhere?
The face?
Just get these to back off, get their details on that, and I'll keep hold of them.
Should we
Keep you on your side, mate. You better retrieve then.
So, yeah.
Same time, I'm keeping him on his side. We were set up when we had him here, but he didn't like it. What's your name, mate? At the moment, you are under arrest. That's for assault, so you do not have to say anything. May harm in defense if you do not mention when questioned.
Yeah, you're under arrest, even though you're dying for being stabbed, because we just took this guy's word that you're a racist. And so we're going to arrest you and cuff you and not even check you. You can't breathe and you're bleeding out. And we're going to do this. This is what happened. This is DEI. This is the fucking racial equity shit. This is coming to America if you vote Democrat.
So to you later line of court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, all right? It's going to be sick, I think.
Yeah.
What's his name?
So I just want you to call it.
Yeah, we've got this male. He's just been beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please? His pupils aren't even reacting.
Yeah, he's dead. You sat there and let him die. It didn't do a fucking thing. These cops should all be in jail too. This is 10 times worse than fucking George Floyd. I hate to fucking break it to you. 10 times worse than George Floyd. 10 times worse than George Floyd. Yep. This poor guy died because he was a white Brit. Yes. You can see the color change in his hands. Yeah, he was bleeding out. And they just didn't do a fucking thing. Didn't do a thing. Power's been out for over 5 hours. Phone and internet service hit or miss. Well, thanks for being here, Lady Bama. Great to see you. Jim is already here. Yes, he is. Thanks for being here. Daniel Penny. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened to Daniel Penny. 17 years old. That's right, Weezy Bob. 17 years old. Wow. This is, 100% worse. 100% worse. Yep. Yeah, they handcuffed him, but no help. He said, I've been stabbed. He goes, no, you haven't. No, you haven't, mate. No. And the woman goes, well, maybe we should check him. Nah, he hasn't been stabbed. We don't have to look. We don't have to look. Well, we got $5 donated by Lurch Linger over there on the Cash App. Thank you so much, Lurch, for the 5. Oh. And it appears we also got
tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Then we got $35 from Christine. Thank you so much, Christine, for the $35. That means, folks, we are now just $95 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Christine and Lurch Linger. Thank you all. Internal bleeding doesn't take much time to take you out. Yeah. The training officers need to be fired after these responding officers are put in jail. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just look. We'll go watch right here. Watch when, like, they're like, "Oh, come here. You ain't been stabbed."
He's been stabbed. So
where is it you think he's been stabbed? In the face. Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
No.
In the
No.
face.
He said no. Hear that? He said we have to check, don't we? And that cop goes, no.
In the face.
Just get these back off. Get their details on that, and I'll keep hold of them. No, keep you on your side, mate. You got to retrieve then. Same time, I'm keeping him on his side. We were set up when we had him here, but he didn't like it. What's your name, mate? At the moment, you are under arrest. That's for assault, so you do not have to say anything. May harm in defense if you do not.
Yeah, he just arrested a dead guy. He just arrested a dead guy for getting stabbed because someone said, because they arrest people. See, they arrest people every fucking day in England for words, for people saying, "Oh, they said something to me I don't like. I'm going to have them arrested." Yes, this is horrible. It's crazy.
Make your main questions. So we'll you later line of court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, all right? It's going to be sick, I think.
You know, this is just the video that they released. I'd like to see the rest of the video, like after this, when they realize he's dead. Like, what do they do? Do they apologize to the Indian guy? You know?
What's his name?
I just want you to call it.
Yeah, we've got this male. He's just been beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please?
His pupils aren't even reacting.
Yeah, his pupils aren't even reacting. Oh, he hit my turban. Yeah, he took my turban off. Yeah. They told him you did a good job. Probably. You know, and then there was more on here. It's infinitely worse than George Floyd. Infinitely. Literally put him in handcuffs for the sole reason he was white. Video is horrendous. The killer stole his cell phone, and the judge gave him a pass for the theft and sentencing. The murder did not involve taking a knife to the scene with the purpose to commit an offense or having availed to do so. It's possible that you had a good legal reason for having the dagger when you met him, although considering the verdict, there's reason that you removed it from its sheath. Neither was it a murder for gain. Whilst you did take his phone or even rob him of it, that was neither the purpose of the murder. Can you believe they make fucking excuses for these people? This is the police officer in question right here. Sounds like something a racist would say. I'm dying. Yeah. Here's the father. Says the contrast of police treatment of his son in the murder is unbearable. His murder was afforded decency. He was believed.
Now, let's go to the family Southampton Crown Court.
I am Henry Novak's father. To my left is my daughter, Olivia Novak, Henry's older sister. And to her left is Lucy Ross, Henry's Novak's mother. The jury confirmed what we've always known. Henry's life was taken from him unlawfully, violently, and without justification. Henry was 18 years old. He was kind, ambitious, loved, and full of promise. He had his whole life ahead of him, a degree to finish, places to see, and a future to build. That future was stolen from him, and no verdict or sentence will ever give it back. Henry did nothing wrong. He was one of the kindest, friendliest, and most inclusive people you could ever hope to meet. He was amazing in every way. On the 3rd of December last year, Henry was walking home from a night out with his university football teammates when he encountered Vikram Digwa, a man openly carrying a large knife on the streets of Britain. That knife was used to take Henry's life. He should have been safe walking home. Instead, he became another young life lost to the brutal reality of knife crime in this country. Henry had been stabbed multiple times, and as his chest filled with blood, he tried to escape. He was chased, abused, and filmed by Vikram Digwa and others. When police arrived, Henry was lying on the floor, barely able to sit up and plainly in severe medical distress. With his final words, he told officers that he could not breathe. He told them he had been stabbed.
Where's the riots? Where's the riots, England? Come on, you got to be like America now. You got to be like America. Go out and start doing riots and start burning shit down. Just all over England. Should be happening, right? You know, really should be. I mean, if it was okay to happen over George Floyd, it should happen over this, right? Pakistani knife crime. It was an Indian. You know, they're able to. The Indians are the only ones who can carry the knives because they say it's part of their religion. You see, to have these knives. They tried to paint him as a drunk, but his alcohol level was below the legal driving limit. Yeah, they said he had like 1 or 2 pints while he was out with his friends, which is nothing. 21 years. How about lock his ass up until the kid comes back from the dead? Yeah. England is now a warning list of countries America should not visit. Yeah, Noack dies because of immigration. Yep. Turban man should not have been in England. The killer is arrested and accused of murder. The police cops are under investigation. No result yet. Police force has made excuses. Latest update, the 2 cops should have been in prison. Yeah. Yeah, good thing they took their guns away. Yeah, right. White people disappoint me. They don't burn stuff, no riots, no killings. Why are you people so normal? Yeah.
In fact, Henry told officers that he could not breathe 9 times.
9 times?
He told them he had been stabbed 4 times. The response from one officer was, "I don't think you have, mate." The police have said they were misled by the murderer and that the scene when they arrived was complex. Unfortunately, it seems to us the truth is much simpler. The police were told by our son himself and by a member of the public who called 999 that they heard someone shout that they had been stabbed. But the police did not believe them. Henry was pulled across the gravel, his hands forced behind his back, and he was placed in handcuffs. Instead of being treated as a dying victim, police formally arrested Henry for assault and read him his rights. That was the last thing he heard. Henry did not die with dignity. He did not die with the care he deserved. He lost consciousness before anyone believed him. Let me be absolutely clear. We hold Vikram Digwa solely and 100% responsible for the brutal murder of our son. But Henry should not have died on the streets of Southampton in police custody. The way he was treated was inhumane and degrading. His murder, however, was afforded decency. He was believed. He was not handcuffed when arrested. He was not handcuffed when transported to the police station. As far as we understand, he was never handcuffed at all. And as Vikram Digwa himself told the court, whilst under arrest for Henry's murder, police even took him to the kitchen so he could choose his food. The contrast is unbearable. We believe the officers involved remain on duty, although we understand some may have since resigned. One was allowed to leave the force before she had given an account to the Independent Office of Police Conduct of what happened that evening. The IOPC investigation remains ongoing. Whilst we await its final report, we are calling on the Home Secretary to ensure that the IOPC has the resources, authority, and independence it needs to conduct a full, fearless, and transparent investigation. Our families should not have to fight for the truth anymore. Despite the shocking actions of the police on that fatal night, the murder investigation was very different. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Senior Investigating Officer DCI Rebecca Bartholomew, the Serious Crime Team, and particular officer in the case, Claire Proctor. We would also like to thank our incredible family liaison officers, Sarah Page and Trudy May, for their diligence, professionalism, and compassion throughout this investigation.
Yeah. Yeah, how hard they apologized to the turban man. Yeah, I put him under the jail. Yeah, they didn't even handcuff him. They just brought him, they said, "Oh, listen, we're sorry, but we're going to have to take you in. It looks like this guy might have died, maybe." Will they get 27 million? Who knows? But this England, you guys better fucking wake the fuck up, man. You better wake the fuck up. It's an awful story. Misled by the murderer. Yeah. Yeah, because, how are they supposed to believe a guy who's going to stab somebody would actually lie about it? Yeah. He didn't, and his family covered it up. Like, how about deport them all the fuck out of your country? Why don't you do that? Yes, that's how I feel. It's all depraved indifference. Totally. Is this real or a reenactment? It was real, man. That was real. That was actually what happened. The video I played earlier was actually the body cam footage. They only released a snippet. They didn't release what happened after they realized he had died. They cut it off right when they go, "Oh, his pupils aren't reacting. He's dead." They cut it off. Yeah. Yeah. It is a beautiful country. Their king is So celebrate his country's demise. No one should help them. They keep claiming how polite they are. Yeah. We back can't handle the story. I agree. You wonder if Epcot's going to update the English exhibit and play the call for prayer 5 times a day. We mustn't offend the replacements. Heaven forbid we might lose our kebab shops and get our jobs back. The police investigated themselves and found that they didn't do nothing wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if they let him keep his knife while in jail. Maybe. Did they apologize, or is that hyperbole? I believe they did apologize. Yep. Tommy Robinson tried to tell the people for years. Yeah, they called him a racist. Asking a UK Home Secretary for help. This is the Home Secretary. Yeah, you think this Home Secretary is going to help him? Oh, that doesn't look like an English person to me. Huh. Look at Shabana Mahmood. That's the Home Secretary. You guys are voting in the people who want to kill you. What are you doing? Yeah. Look at Carl Sturmer. He kneeled for George Floyd. Look at that. And they didn't do anything for this UK citizen. What do you know? George Floyd, they kneeled for. Wow. If this doesn't enrage every red-blooded Britanner, whatever it's called, Britner, Englander, Englishman, yes, if this does not enrage every that's a British name, Jim. Is it? Maybe now. We are too, yes. If voting in the UK mattered. That's a man, probably. But look, do you see him kneeling for Henry Novak? They kneeled for George Floyd. Keep in mind that it's illegal for the native population to carry a knife, but the killer is legally allowed to carry a huge blade because they are foreign and special. Yeah. See, they get to carry this knife because they're foreigners, you see. And it's it got to be you can't be insensitive to their culture. Yeah, what makes this case so chilling is the possibility the killer understood the moral psychology of the system around him enough to believe that a simple accusation might shift sympathy to his favor. Yeah. Would he have cried racism if he didn't believe the system would believe him? Oh, this is more of it. This is when the cops first get there.
My dad's holding it now. Right. He keeps dropping side to side, so I'm just trying to keep him set up.
Right.
He's got a mouthful of blood. I don't want him.
He was on the bin on the other side of this gate.
He's jumped over these fences and stuff like that. And
Right.
he's up
Move
here.
away, mate.
He's obviously fallen from there and he slipped from there.
There's other shoes left over there, mate.
Yeah. All right. Once we saw this is the same stuff, basically, of them saying he's dead. No, I'm not going to rewatch it, but they, yeah. He told the police 4 times he's been stabbed. Look at this. Oh, in Reuters, if one of these souls deserved around the world protest and kneeling, it shouldn't have never been the drug addict criminal at the bottom. But it should have been for the 18-year-old kid that's never done anything wrong. This poor kid and what he endured in the last moments of his life should be enough to outrage every parent. Yeah, look at. One result for Henry Nowak in Reuters. And look at this. 1,087 for George Floyd. Huh. The police are just political point scoring organization. Yeah, I mean, this is who they are. I was just following orders. That's them. Now, check this out. So here's the difference. In September 22, Chris Kaba, in a vehicle linked to weapons, attempts to ram through police and was shot by an officer. Activists and media bayed, and the police released the details prior to trial to a furious public, framing him as a racist. And December, Nowak is mortally wounded by Vikram Digwa and knows he only needs to call someone a racist to exonerate himself. The police arrive, 3 South Asian women, and Henry dies gasping for air 9 times, says he can't breathe. Where are their names? Where are their details? Where's the footage? Nobody's going to give anything out. I heard tonight that you can't even know, after they identified the killer and arrested him, they didn't even handcuff him, knowing he just murdered Henry. Why is one officer in a clear police operation stripped of his anonymity while these officers are shouted in secrecy? So yeah, it's this guy who tried to ram through the crowd and the cop shot him. They tried to go after the cop. Let's just say theoretically it's possible to miss the punctured lung. It's also worth pointing out he had a large stab wound on his face, because that's when the woman said something. Oh, you got stabbed in your face? I noticed the dad didn't call the killer's names or call the police corrupt. Then again, they might arrest him if he did. Yeah, well, that's what they would do. They would arrest him for saying anything bad about the people. Just ridiculous. I thought there was one more thing. There was something else. Yeah, here you go. This is this. After George Floyd, the Hampshire police created a race action plan designed by Alison Hadari and implemented by Olivia Pinckney. Fight racism and inclusion training. When officers arrived, Henry Nowak was the bad guy, and they cuffed him. He bled out. And these are the people responsible for what happened, because they enacted the policy that said, if you're white, you're the bad guy. That's the bottom line. But it's got to be you, because you're white. And white, evil colonizers, it's them. He was stabbed in the groin, heart, back of the legs, and tried to crawl away. Henry said he's been stabbed. The Sikh said he was a lying racist. The police arrested him and cuffed him despite the stab wounds, one on his face. According to the evidence, he was stabbed 5 times. Twice in the back of his legs, once in the face, and one fatal wound to the chest. So he had a stab wound in his face, so they knew. Body cam footage is supposed to keep cops accountable. How is it holding cops accountable if they're intentionally hiding the footage? Shut up, racist. I'm dying. Yeah. Remember Henry Nowak. Yeah. Release the footage, you evil bastards. Our officers were misled at the scene. They quickly switched to life-saving aid within minutes. The medical evidence shows the injuries were not survivable. When? Did you see? This is a fucking lie. Did you see them perform any life-saving anything? Anything at all? We watched 2.5 minutes. Did they do anything? They do anything at all? I didn't see anything. Nothing. No life-saving aid at all. Yeah. Police need to stop harming innocents. West Midlands police facing legal action for targeting innocent child. Oh, look at this. This is England, though, folks. This is England.
Okay, what was it?
Sorry, I don't like the camera. You can have a body cam. I can exhibit that to you. I just don't like the camera, really.
Okay, well, I'm doing this because this is my own house, and I am telling you why I'm doing. So I just need to know why would she's basically viewed a post which is not an arrestable offence.
Yeah. That's been,
okay.
It happened in May, and you're completely fine. The only thing is, we need to seize the phone at this current moment. The phone needs to get seized from us, otherwise we will escalate this further.
But with a voluntary interview.
So have you seized anyone else? Is she the only child you're picking on?
Voluntary interview, you'd be able to come.
Have you spoken to anyone else? No, we'll come to the station now.
Do you mind letting her finish her sentence?
Yeah.
It does have to get further escalation, unfortunately.
That's fine. We'll come to the station now.
The phone isn't seized right now, and we're not able to basically get the phone. We'd have to escalate this further, which means your daughter will get arrested.
For what? Viewing a social media post? Is that?
I need to go with that in order to.
No, absolutely not.
What can we do to prevent destruction of evidence?
I'm sorry.
Lisa.
That's fine. I would like you to leave now. I'd like you to leave.
This is why you're
okay. I have nothing more to say to you. A social media post. I've got nothing more to say. I'd like you to leave. You've harassed this child enough. I'd like you to leave.
Lisa, that's no worries.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have told them, I'd have shut the door and said, get the fuck out of my house, get a warrant. I mean, do they not have that right in England? Did they have to get a warrant? They could just come into your house and seize shit without a warrant? You know, a fucking muzzy cop in a hijab comes in your house. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's why the cities want to make the illegals cops. A diversity cop telling a native what to do. See how they come in without a warrant? That's some Cuba shit. Yeah. Yeah, Muslim cop. Yeah. Yeah. The British police force must now be treated as enemies of the state. Contact with this filth must be avoided at all costs. Let the death of this young man be a warning to the British people. The danger is real. What was one other thing here? Oh, yeah. This is the father. We saw that. We saw this, right? Is this the same one we saw? Looks like it.
His life. He should have been safe walking home.
All right. There was one I saw that showed the picture of the knife. I guess I didn't save it. Thought I saved it. I guess I didn't. Yeah, this is the story we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday, but this is good. Over 99% of the crime is committed by American citizens. You're a fucking delusional idiot, and you're going to go away now because, Greg, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that is beyond crazy that you would even say something like that. So, well, now you're gone for 24 hours. Have a good day. We are 2 elections away from this. Yeah. 99% of all crime is committed by American citizens. Oh, really? Oh. Where'd you get those numbers from, you psycho? 40% of prisoners in jail are illegal aliens. So what? They didn't commit the crimes? No. Joe, that's not even true, though. His numbers are not true at all. Not even close to being true. 40% of the people in federal prison are illegal aliens. That means they're 40% of the fucking crimes committed, federal crimes. There's a 40% of people in jail. I mean, so you're walking through a district court, and Eleanor Ross is getting railed in her chambers, and they're both. And when the initial accusation came on, they both lied. He said 99%. Yeah, he said 99% of all crime. Yeah. I mean, it's insane. So somebody fucking videotaped it. Somebody videotaped them walking past this judge's chambers. And that's her screaming. Oh, my God. That is insane. Oh, what's this? My immune system killed my pancreas. Ever notice how religious registries skirt labor laws and their other illicit dealings? Yeah, that's the judge who said she was not. That's a lie, that she never did any of this stuff. They videotaped it. Somebody videotaped it. The fact that this judge isn't already impeached, what does that say about us? That this judge still has a job, hasn't been impeached, right? Wasn't even given a formal reprimand or nothing. Was given a silent reprimand. She broke the law. She lied to federal investigators. She lied to other judges. She did not have candor to board of court. She should be disbarred and removed from the bench immediately. And it's not over the fact of what she did here. It's that she lied about it. I mean, she's in there getting busy and so loud. Sounds like she's being killed. Clearly, yeah, she sounds like she's faking that too. Yeah, clearly they knew what was going on. Somebody videoed it thinking it was funny. Like, oh yeah, this goes on all the time. Yeah, but she tried to deny it and she's getting protected. Why'd you call her Lassie? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, flooded again. That's right. Well, all right, let's jump to this here.
To the people coming from out of state to create chaos and dangerous situations, you should not be here. You are not helping the people detained at Delaney Hall. You're not helping detainee families, and you're certainly not keeping New Jersey safe.
Oh, that's real.
Protesting outside of Delaney Hall to bring the temperature down so we can focus on the detainees and their families. So comply with the lawful orders from local and state law enforcement.
The economy at a critical inflection.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. That's right. Colorado could be in hot water from the feds. Another moron. Yeah. How about people coming in and out of the country should not be here? Yeah. You don't want her to be a judge just because she broke the law. I don't know, Jim. Sounds racist to me. She sounds like she was just having a good time. Well, that's the thing. If she would have admitted what she was doing or whatever and not lied about it, but she lied to the investigators, Joe. She lied to the chief judge when asked what was going on. She lied, said, oh, this is all lie. They're just doing this to me because they'd rather be, they don't like me because I'm black. Tina Peters has been released. Yes, Tina Peters has been released. I swear I had it. Now I'm pissed. I swear I had a picture of the guy. And attorney Mike Davis just wrote a criminal referral to the DOJ and Harmeet Dillon to launch an investigation into the mistreatment of Tina Peters in the Colorado prison now that she's been released. Yeah, she was screwing a high-ranking police official. Yes. Yeah, a deputy. Seems like someone watched the movie Porky's. You were born a poor black child? Well. Yeah, tell the truth and quit, lie and go to prison. I mean, sometimes that's your only choice, The list includes Jenna Griswold. Only a criminal investigation can answer these questions because the judges and prosecutors are absolutely immune civilly. This protection, however, does not extend to criminal liability. I write to urge an investigation of potential federal civil rights violations. Evidence is clear. Colorado government officials conspired to severely, unconstitutionally, and criminally punish Tina Peters because of her First Amendment protected views on election integrity. Yeah, Griswold, the crazy eye disinformation czar. What a freak. Yeah. Let's see how many mainstream media want her to come on their shows and talk. None. Criminal injustice system at work. Specifically, A3P, the Article 3 project, requests the criminal investigation focused on the following participants in Peters' persecution. Mesa County District Judge, Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser, Mesa County District Attorney Dan Rubenstein, who led the prosecution, Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, and any other potential co-conspirators.
Tina Peters is the only nonviolent offender that is on the commutation list. She was sentenced to almost 9 years in prison.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
To be clear, She deserved to go to jail. She committed a crime. What's at issue here is how long the sentence is. And I agree with the appeals court that in the sentencing hearing, the judge incorrectly looked at and considered her bizarre viewpoints, her speech,
Bizarre
and held her
viewpoints.
speech against her. She happens to be somebody that's espoused what I believe to be what anybody objectively would believe to be incorrect opinions, conspiracies, etc. That is not a crime in our country. What is a crime is, along with two other co-conspirators, one got 6 months, one got parole only, accessed after a municipal election, election computers to download software for an independent audit prior to the software being updated. That is a crime. There were 4 felonies. Those felonies will.
It's a crime. It's a crime to do an audit. It's a crime to do an audit before the software updated to erase everything. You heard that, right? It's a crime to do an audit, to do your job. Wow. Yeah, they made her apologize. Yeah. What do you make of the leaked reports of Trump calling Netanyahu crazy and saving him from going to prison? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Stick with her. She's a convicted felon. And I believe that the 4.5 years that I'm commuting her sentence to, she'll be on parole along with a number of the other 9 next month, is a fair, just, and tough sentence for her crime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a crime to catch us committing crimes. So here's the letter that they wrote, basically telling them, hey, look, we want you to look at all this stuff. On behalf of the Article 3, sounded like the forbidden fruit and the forbidden shoot, just saying. Incorrect opinions, yes. Yes, she had incorrect opinions, disfavored opinions. So the Article 3 project writes to urge investigation of federal civil rights violations of Tina Peters. Just like the Nick Shirley bill in California, yes. Yeah. Polis is a moderate in California. I don't know what Polis is in Colorado, but the Democrat Party in Colorado censured him and went after him for doing this. They didn't want her out to talk. They didn't want, because now that she's out, she can testify and talk about stuff, which I don't know. This whole thing upset me because they could have got her out on a material witness warrant. No, they could have. In Colorado, they conspired to punish her because of her First Amendment protected speech. She served as a clerk. In that role, she oversaw the election process before, during, and after each election. She gravely doubted the accuracy of the results, believing rampant fraud had occurred, resulting in election being stolen. To prove the election system was vulnerable to fraud, Peters provided the source code for the election to an outside advisor. And it led to an effort to indict her. A Mesa County judge sentenced her to 9 years after a conviction on several felony counts. You check this story on the Not Even Call. Leftist and anti-Israel press pushing President Custom out. Other side and White House say the call was good. Now, I don't get the Nazi Democrat with the tattoo, but we're the Nazis? Yeah, well, that's how they roll. Sentencing posed a grave constitutional concerns. The Colorado Court of Appeals remanded the case for resentencing shortly after the governor commuted her sentence. And then they went after the governor for doing it. Wisner, Rubenstein, and Griswold were all quick to condemn Polis's commutation. Griswold even wrote an opinion piece for the Denver Post, arguing that Peters should have served her entire sentence. Peters has no criminal record, and her convictions were for nonviolent crimes. Her actions did not alter one vote, and her sentence was significantly longer than the sentence of defendants convicted in federal courts for having voting illegally. It's crazy. The governor's commutation aside, several profoundly troubling questions require answering. What coordination did Griswold, who allowed the passwords of sensitive election-related material to be published, have with Wisner and Rubenstein? Did Wisner and Rubenstein prosecute Peters to punish her for her views in the 2020 election? Views which, contrary to Griswold's claim, had nothing to do with her offense? Did Barrett impose a longer sentence on Peters because she exercised a cherished First Amendment protected rights? The outside advisor had top secret government security clearance. Trump's executive order will stop ballot fraud cold. It's much more comprehensive than I thought. Well, if the Dominion voting machines can't be hacked, what's the big deal? Such BS, yeah. But she's white and a Republican. Well, that's the thing. No, I mean, here's the thing, Jason. These leaks, they did the same shit in his first term. They kept constantly leaking shit that wasn't true. And then they use it, they report it, the leaks get published, and then the Democrats, the demon rats, and the rest of them, they can use the stories to say, look, it's here, it's being published. Burnt ballots in a Dropbox found in LA. Oh yeah, who knows? They probably went to areas where they think they're going to vote for people for Republicans and burning the ballots. That's sure. That's what. Yeah, they're cheating. They always cheat. Using the U.S. mail to commit a crime is a crime. One illegal mail-in ballot can trigger a federal investigation. Well, that's the thing. They can't say. States couldn't sue to say that you have to sell. Let people mail weed through the mail, right? Even if it's legal in the state. Only a criminal investigation can answer these questions. Well, let's hope so. Rarely does an appellate court vacate a sentence due to its profound concerns. A defendant was published for exercising a core constitutional right. No one is above the law, including secretaries of state, district attorneys, and attorney generals or judges. There's ample reason to commence a criminal probe into whether Peters was the victim of a criminal conspiracy to violate her civil rights designed to punish her for being an election denier. Let's hope this happens. Kind of on the same front here. Most people have no idea what President Trump's new election mail order actually does. They want to make Tina Peters spend all of her time and resources for the rest of her life in prison or in court trying to clear her name. In plain English, it creates a chain of custody system for mail ballot envelopes. Not the vote, the envelope. Under the proposed rule, states using mail-in or absentee ballots would have to use a standardized ballot envelope, official election mail logo, automation-compatible design, unique intelligent mail barcode, the post-USPS review of envelope barcode placement. That means the ballot envelope becomes trackable. Kind of makes sense, right? Chain of custody. Kind of makes sense. Mike Davis is on Barnes's blacklist. Yeah, Barnes is a fucking joke, man. I don't even pay any attention to him anymore. I really don't. States or election mailers would also submit key data through the portal: voter name, voter address, outbound envelope barcode, return envelope barcode, originating election office state. So officials can know this ballot envelope was sent out and the return envelope came back. The post office would review outbound mail before accepting it. Is it in the right envelope? Does it have the proper barcode? Is it going to someone enrolled in the state's mail ballot participation list? If not, the mail goes back to the election mailer to fix. The broader order also directs the DHS and SSA to help create a state citizenship list using federal citizenship, naturalization, Social Security, SAVE, and related data. These lists go to state election officials before federal elections. Barnes is on your blacklist. Yeah. You wonder if PBB might take legal action against Barnes. He made a bunch of claims against him about the crypto scandal. I mean, it's possible. It's possible he will. First line is postal inspectors. Guess who they're truly beholden to serve? Got them passed for an investigation to start? Yeah. If he's on Barnes' blacklist, he's probably a threat to Barnes' grift. That's true. Yeah, Gold Star mom. Yeah, she's a Gold Star mom, and they did this to her. You could track your ballots in California. Well, yeah, but you can track your ballots if you're the actual person, but if the ballots are going to people who aren't the people, then there's no track. Who's going to track them? They're trackable for the voter. But if If some house is getting 50 ballots, nobody's tracking those. Hello, Gold Star mom? Anyone? Yeah, I said she's a Gold Star mom. What are you talking? I mean, it's horrible that they did that to her. It's completely horrible that they did that to Tina Peters. It's gross. As much as you dislike Bondi, you never understood the hate against Bongino. States still run voter registration. Voter list does not register anyone. No, this is not tracking your vote. It tracks the envelopes, creates a sent versus returned audit trail, helps flag discrepancies, preserves ballot envelope records, and leaves states responsible for their voter rolls. I mean, I guess what this could also do, this could also mean that if they tried to say they had a bunch of ballots, and they could be like, wait a minute, these ballots didn't come through. These ballots weren't mailed. We only had this number of ballots mailed. What are you doing? Chain of custody is not suppression. It's basic accountability. The proposed rule, it's proposed because UPS has not finalized the rules. The proposal says it applies to general, special, and runoff federal elections, not primaries or CAVA military ballots, and requires unique barcodes outbound. The rule would require voter name, address, plus outbound and return barcodes through the portal. It also says they do not alter vote eligibility or manage the voter rolls. The EU separately dictates the creation of the state citizenship lists. So it's good. That's good news. Now, on what planet should a union that can endorse a presidential candidate be allowed to collect and deliver ballots in an election? It's a good question. That's a very good question. Trump DOJ to drop the weaponization fund. This is nuts. This is fucking nuts. Justice Department released a statement on Monday afternoon on a district judge's ruling. DOJ said it will abide by the judge's ruling and drop the fund. Justice Department strongly disagrees with the decision, wherein the judge said they can't, under no circumstances may the Department of Justice proceed with the anti-weaponization fund established in order to make up for the tremendous abuse, harm, and hate unfairly shown to many people. This fund was open to anybody who was weaponized against, targeted, or persecuted. President Trump is reportedly going to drop the fund created to pay people who were targeted by the Biden regime. Last month, President Trump dropped his lawsuit against the IRS over a leak of tax returns in exchange for a deal. He dropped his lawsuit in exchange for the taxpayer-funded fund to pay people who were unfairly targeted. According to a new report by Axios, they're planning to drop the fund. The Trump administration plans to drop its controversial fund. I didn't think it was controversial. It's dead for now. NBC is also reporting that Trump is dropping the weaponization fund amid a fight in the Senate over funding. I now know it takes a week to go 1 mile in the mail. Everything here goes to Sacramento to be sorted first. Wow. Trump should just take the settlement money and since the deal's off and set up his own fund privately. Senate Majority Leader Thune is pressuring Trump to drop the fund. An Obama-appointed federal judge launched an investigation into the administration's settlement with the IRS that led to the fund. That is not a judge's job. The federal judiciary is not inquisitors. They're not inquisitorial. That's not what they do. They don't do investigations. That's not their fucking job. This is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Trump ally. So why do they call people a Trump ally? What did she know Trump? Did Trump even know her? No. Why does a judge have more power than a president? It's a freaking gift from her. Sounds like a weaponization of justice. It is, man. It's nuts. She did not try to. This is such a fucking lie. New York Post. Fucking Rupert Murdoch, New York Post. Trump ally Tina Peters released after Dem governor commute sentence for trying to overturn 2020 election. She was not trying to overturn shit. She was trying to show that there was something wrong. They were trying to cover up something. We should have impeached those judges before. Oh, yeah. Now Trump can continue his lawsuit. A judge will probably tell him he can't. A judge will probably tell him he can't, that he doesn't have the authority. No, you dropped it. It doesn't matter that they backed out of their deal, that they're not letting you do the deal they agreed to. You know, that's what they'll do. They'll fucking lie because they're scum. They're all scum. They're all fucking scum. They're all fucking scum. Black robe tyrants, yeah. Tyrannical lower court, inferior black robe tyrants. A former Colorado clerk convicted of providing unauthorized access to voting machines. I'm not even going to read to help boost claims. No, to prove what happened, they were covering it up. Yeah. Colorado erased the election records before the required retention period ended. Yes, and she was trying to save the evidence. That's all she was trying to do. 99 months. Yeah, she committed a crime. She was trying to audit our election system. That's a crime. You can't audit our lies. Tina Peters has been released after serving time for, now they're calling it voting machine tampering. Oh, she tampered with the voting machines, according to them. What did she tamper with? Well, she made a copy of the code.
Tina Peters is now a free woman for the first time in nearly 2 years.
Peters was found guilty of election fraud during the 2020 presidential election. Last month, the governor commuted her sentence, cutting it down from 9 years.
We sent your reporter Karen Morfitt to where Tina Peters was being held down in Pueblo. And Karen, you did confirm just about an hour ago that she has been released.
Yeah, that's right, Kelly. A little after 8 o'clock, officials with Colorado's Department of Corrections came across this grassy area here and let us know that Tina Peters was no longer in custody here at the La Vista Correctional Facility in Pueblo. Though
Yeah, Murdoch did. Very strange, that whole settlement thing, that they kicked the money back. Where'd the money go? What they use it for? Very odd. Very strange.
she was never seen leaving the facility here in Pueblo, and no information was shared about when exactly she was released or where she was paroled at. Now, we are told that much of that information would be included in her parole agreement, which we do anticipate will be released later today. We can tell you throughout the morning that we have seen a small group of Tina Peters supporters gather here outside the prison as well.
Well, we knew it was coming. I would have liked to seen her, but I understand she's got to be protected, and all I care about is her being safe now and just healing. She's got to heal, because this is the worst egregious of justice ever.
Now, this comes after Governor Polis commuted Tina Peters' sentence, like you mentioned, dropping it down from 9 years to roughly 4.5. We have reached out to Tina Peters' attorney following her release for additional comment and have not heard back just yet. But we will continue to update this story throughout the day, both here and online at cbscolorado.com. For now, we're live in Pueblo. Karen Morfitt covering Colorado.
Well, thank God. Thank God she's free. Thank God she's free. She should have been eligible to sue for weaponization. A voting machine should be open source, not black boxes that can't be examined. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it crazy? It's crazy that they do this shit. It really is. It's nuts. Well, it's plain old nuts. Plain old nuts. Wow. We got this story. The judge in the Tyler Robinson case, the guy who assassinated Charlie Kirk, the judge says that the media will be allowed in the preliminary hearing. Preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson, the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk, will be open to the media. Judge Tony Graff ruled on Monday. Did they burn all the mail-in ballots in L.A. already? Someone said something about it, that they found some. Wasn't like she changed. She didn't change anything. She didn't do anything. She didn't try to alter anything. She just made a copy of it. That's all she did. She didn't steal anything. Robinson's defense attorney sought to restrict the preliminary hearing, arguing that evidence presented during the hearing could taint potential jury pool. In a determination, Graff said the defense team did not sufficiently present the evidence. If presented in a public proceeding, it would create the realistic likelihood of prejudice. I mean, I'll be back. Please continue with Dommy. All right, Joe. I'll pause it until you come back. Bum, 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 bum.
Thank you. Good morning to you all. The court now issues its rulings on the two outstanding matters that we recently heard. I'll start with the ruling in order addressing the defendant's motion for order to show cause. Defendant Tyler Robinson filed a motion for an order to show cause, docket 504, seeking an order requiring Utah County Attorney Jeff S. Gray and Deputy Utah County Attorney Chris Ballard to appear in court and show cause why they should not be held in contempt for violating the pretrial and trial publicity order originally issued on September 16th, 2025, and amended on December 15th, 2025. And as I'm reading this, I'm going to be filing my written rulings, and so I'm going to omit the citations to the dockets in case, but that will be in its full form. The motion is fully briefed. The court heard oral arguments on May 19th, 2026. Having considered the papers and the oral arguments, the court now rules and orders as follows. Defendant alleges that the conduct occurred outside the immediate view and presence of the court. Thus, Section 78B-6-302 sub 2 requires defendant to file an affidavit or statement detailing the facts constituting the contempt, which statement, together with the subsequent court order, forms the basis of the contempt charge. Defendant's April 16th, 2026 declaration of counsel in support of the order to show cause satisfies that requirement. In the declaration, defense counsel identifies the alleged conduct and provides specific examples. Defense counsel asserts that Utah County Attorney Jeff S. Gray and Deputy County Attorney Chris Ballard violated the court's pretrial publicity order by making specific statements to various news outlets, including TMZ, USA Today, Fox News, Political Facts, and others. Accordingly, the court grants defendant's motion for order to show cause. The issuance of this order reflects a determination that defendant has made a sufficient preliminary showing under Utah law to warrant further proceedings and does not constitute a finding of contempt. An evidentiary hearing will take place during a portion of the previously scheduled June 12, 2026 proceeding. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether the evidence establishes the elements of contempt, namely whether the Utah County Attorney's Office and its representatives knew what was required under the court's pretrial publicity order. The respondents had the ability to comply with that order, and the respondents, by making specific statements to various media outlets, intentionally failed or refused to comply with the pretrial publicity order. Because defendant seeks an order for civil rather than criminal contempt, and because the focus of the claims is on the potential impact the disseminated statements may have had on the potential jury pool, the court respectfully declines to issue an order compelling the Utah County Attorney's Office to produce the requested discovery. Each side will have 1 hour and 30 minutes to present evidence, after which the court will take the issue under advisement and issue a ruling at a future date. This is the order of the court. And that concludes the first ruling by this court. Turning to the second issue. This is regarding defendant's motion in limine to close portions of the preliminary hearing testimony and seal preliminary hearing exhibits. Defendant Tyler James Robinson seeks to close portions, if not all, of the preliminary hearing and to seal preliminary hearing exhibits. The motion has been fully briefed and oral arguments were heard on May 19th, 2026. At oral arguments, the parties agreed that neither the public nor the media should be permitted to inspect or copy exhibits presented at the preliminary hearing, except as published in court as part of the hearing. With the issue of the exhibits resolved, the court turns to the closure of the preliminary hearing itself. The public and the media enjoy a presumptive right to access court proceedings, including preliminary hearings. A party seeking to close a preliminary hearing must show that adverse publicity traceable to the open hearing poses a realistic likelihood of prejudice to a fair trial to overcome this presumption. The party seeking closure must also show there are no less restrictive alternative means to ensure the integrity and impartiality of the jury. Public access to judicial proceedings also serve in an important role in maintaining confidence in the fairness and transparency of the judicial process. This court finds these showings have not been made here. First, the motion does not identify with sufficient specificity that the evidence, if presented in a public proceeding, would create a realistic likelihood of prejudice to defendant's right to a fair trial. Despite receiving notice of the state's witnesses and exhibits for the preliminary hearing, the motion raises generalized concerns regarding hearsay and the expert reports without identifying particular evidence warranting closure. Furthermore, much of the evidence the state indicated it intends to offer during the preliminary hearing is already in the public arena and was identified in the information and probable cause statement. The possibility that evidence introduced at the preliminary hearing may later be ruled inadmissible at trial does not, standing alone, bar the public from the courtroom. The court, however, acknowledges defendant's pending motion in limine to preclude 1102 evidence and reserve ruling on that issue until the matter has been fully briefed and heard. Even assuming specific evidence has been identified that could present a risk to defendant's constitutional right to a fair trial, if publicly disclosed, the motion does not establish that a no less restrictive alternative remains available. Several methods remain available to protect the defendant's right to a fair trial, including enlarging the veneer of potential jurors, utilizing detailed juror questionnaires, and conducting thorough voir dire, all methods routinely used to safeguard a defendant's constitutional rights. For these reasons, the court respectfully denies defendant's motion. This is the order of the court. Counsel, I will go ahead and sign these orders and it will be uploaded to the docket today. And with that, I believe we have our next hearing on June 12th, starting at 9 a.m.
All right, so that's what's happened with that. So the judge weighs the arguments. The public and the media enjoy a presumption that they should be there. The judge says that they raised generalized concerns, but they weren't good enough. And the prosecutors previously agreed the media should be restricted from viewing some exhibits. If Chauvin hasn't seen justice yet, he won't. I don't understand why. It's not going to happen. Is the judge talking about the crap video quality? I don't know. The video quality sucks. So they're also Like a lot of people were making a big deal about this, that the judge said that they're going to allow them to have a hearing about saying the prosecutors made comments about ballistic test reports and bullet fragments. Well, that's because there was other people saying that someone was leaking the information. The defense team was leaking information out to like Candace Owens and other people that were saying it. So they had to come out and say something. They were running all over the place saying how, oh, the bullets don't match. So that's, they should be doing. Right here we go. Questions emerge about the bullet used to kill Charlie Kirk. Key hearing, murder suspect will be open to reporters and members of the public. But this is the thing, like this is what they're talking about. This is the questions. We're going to hear this because this was Candace Owens and other people pushing these lies. Pushing these lies. They caused them to come out and go, no, that's not what the report said. Stop. And so that's, we're going to go after them for saying what the report actually said.
The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk now says the bullet used could not be matched to the gun Tyler Robinson allegedly shot. That's according to court documents obtained by CBS News. CBS News national correspondent Carter Evans has more details.
It's been nearly 7 months since conservative political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed during a Utah Valley University campus event on September 10th last year. Now, attorneys for Tyler Robinson, the man charged in Kirk's killing, are asking to delay his preliminary hearing to review a mountain of material they say could help his defense. In a new court filing, the defense claims in an ATF report summary that the agency, quote, was unable to identify the bullet recovered at autopsy to the rifle allegedly tied to Mr. Robinson.
Doesn't mean that those bullets aren't the same or that they aren't connected. It just means there isn't enough evidence there to come to a conclusion.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson says this is not unusual.
It is sometimes difficult to match bullets that were recovered at autopsy with bullets that are associated with a defendant's gun. And that could be based on lack of evidence and lack of markings on those bullets.
Robinson has been charged with aggravated murder in Kirk's death. He has not yet entered a plea. Prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty.
Robinson hid the gun and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages.
Prosecutors allege Robinson admitted to killing Kirk in those text exchanges.
Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry.
Prosecutors also say they have DNA evidence that connects Robinson to the killing. Levinson says the inability to conclusively match the bullet won't necessarily damage the prosecution's case.
The prosecution has other evidence to rely on. This does not completely undermine their case.
I'm Carter Evans.
According to Candace Owens, it does. According to Candace Owens. A key hearing for Charlie Kirk will be public. That's good. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. This is crazy. North Carolina police officer charged with assault after video shows him repeatedly punching black woman during arrest. A woman that was resisting arrest, and the cop was trying to arrest her. And so what they're saying is, well, he should have just tased her. This is, you see the difference here from that earlier video. All right. A police officer in Shelby, North Carolina, was fired Saturday after a video captured on home security showed him wrestling a black woman to the ground and punching her. She was resisting arrest. What's he supposed to do? The officer turned himself in and was released on a $10,000 bond. Hyder, who's white, was charged with assault inflicting serious injury. He was fired after a video captured on home security was posted to social media. And a warrant for his arrest says he did assault and strike the woman by grabbing her, pushing her to the ground. He was making an arrest. If the kid walks free, we're going to have a civil war. Yeah, Nexter, she did a great job defending Corey Richards. Yeah. Inflicted serious injury, possible broken nose and busted lip. The officer tried to handcuff her, and the woman asked for mental health care. She was offered medication. The video sparked protests. Yes. Protests over police abuse. I was so upset. Why is this man doing this to my daughter? Oh. Hyder was fired following an administrative investigation. Yeah, no, he was fired because these people are all pussies, and as soon as people started complaining, they immediately throw people under the bus. They always say they're off their meds. Yeah. Arrest warrant for the woman says Hyder was trying to arrest her for breaking and entering. Incident does not reflect the values of our police department. So someone was breaking and entering, a burglar, and he tried to arrest her, and she resisted arrest, and so he took her in. It's unclear what happened in the moments before the video began. The camera was motion activated, only started when it detected the officer and the woman. Oh, yeah, paid protest. Yeah. The magic get out of trouble card. Yep. The video starts with Hyder and a woman standing, their hands touching. The officer then wrestles the woman to the ground, and she's saying, I don't have a warrant. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. He punches her multiple times to try and get her to the body cam release the body cam, show the chimp out. Yeah. She probably hit him for sure. Yeah, she was fighting with them. Hey, Duckfat says, good evening, everybody. Yeah. They always say I didn't do nothing. Yeah. A second officer then attempts to pull them apart as a first officer. The officer says, let go, repeating, I got her. The third officer arrives, and the officer tried to handcuff. She said she could just receive mental health care and asked the officers multiple times to call her father. Oh, call my daddy. Call my daddy. Call my daddy. A retired New York City Police Department detective and current adjunct professor at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice reviewed the video, said that the officer employed force far beyond what the situation required. As noted, the officer continued punching the woman even after a second officer arrived, which appears to violate basic use of force principles. Oh, so as soon as another officer arrives, you stop doing what you're doing? The woman and her family, through their attorney, said, oh, this devastated me. This caused me much pain. Investigators asked for patience. Yes. We understand the community has questions. The woman in the video was charged with breaking and entering, resisting a police officer, assaulting an official. So she assaulted him. Yeah. When will the black woman get a statue? Probably really soon. The woman unlawfully entered a building and then resisted arrest by running on foot. A warrant alleged woman then assaulted the officer by grabbing and ripping his uniform. Oh. She was initially held on $10,000 bond, but then was later released. The charges haven't been dropped. Well, no, why would you drop the charges? Yeah, sorry, no pass go, no collect $200. Hyder had a previous encounter with the same woman. The file names Hyder as a complainant in a case in late August, which the same one was charged with breaking and entering and resisting a public officer. So this guy had a history with her and knew her, and she probably previously hit him or did something to him, and he wasn't taking it this time. They always say that. I didn't do nothing a million times. Yeah. The homeowner's camera captured the video, said they heard the commotion, but assumed it was just children playing. They checked the footage, and after watching it, they were shocked and posted the video to social media. Demonstrators' ways to protect our women. No justice, no peace. So what about the justice for the criminals? But we're hopes for more. Of course, we're looking for some other things to happen. He needs to be charged. Oh, yeah. Derek Chauvin, George Floyd. Yeah. The Shelby city manager, Justin Merritt, said, while yesterday's incident is disturbing and still raw, today marks the beginning of a path forward. The path we must walk together, hand in hand. Yeah. To let the criminals go. Hey, cops, if you're a cop, if someone's black, I guess just don't touch them, don't arrest them, don't do nothing. You go to jail if you try to arrest them. If they resist, it's your fault. Not sure why the officer punched her so many times. The woman's attorney said the assault charge is just a piece of what's owed. Moore said his daughter suffers from mental health and substance abuse, but his daughter did not swing back at the officer. Were you there? How do you know? The officer had a ripped. How did the officer's uniform get ripped? The daughter's in a safe place resting. It's just fucking ridiculous. Here's the body cam footage.
Camera video showing a North Carolina police officer repeatedly punching a woman during an arrest. This might be a disturbing video, just a warning to you. The incident happened Friday in Shelby when officers came across a woman described as suspicious. You can see that officer dragging the suspect to the ground before repeatedly...
Wait. You see her grabbing the officer, see her hand reach up and grab the officer. So she's physically resisting. She's physically kicking. You see her kicking him. What the fuck? She's kicking him. She's punching him. This is ridiculous. No, this is not a body cam. You're right. This is the they probably won't release the body cam because just like the body cam in George Floyd proved that they were fucking liars. They're going to use this. The word comply is triggering and racist. Who assaulted first? It doesn't, I mean, the cop saying you're under arrest and goes to put her under arrest and then you start resisting. You know, he has to protect his gun too. I mean, look at this. Watch. You see right here. All right, we'll back it up. Like right here, he's like they're like tussling right here. And she's not getting arrested, right? And so he's trying to take her back, but now you can look, she's still resisting. See her, watch her feet. See her kicking right there? Look, right there, you can see her kicking. See her foot kicking him in the side. So he's hitting her, trying to get her to stop. Oh, well,
Initially was placed on administrative leave and now has since been fired, is what we've just learned, actually.
I am extra angry tonight. I am extra angry tonight. I'm sorry. I'm extra angry. I am. I'm just so sick of this shit. I'm no longer fooled. If it's ethnic, it's a chimp out every time. Yep, she is kicking him. Thank God these instances are way less ever since body cam. But that's not a body cam. That's like another cam. They're going to have to get she's actively resisting. I recognize this street. It's a street you don't ever take, ever. All of that after ball 4. Yeah. Great place to get shot, though. Yeah. Yeah, but that's allowed. She can resist. Yeah, you can resist the police now. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to resist the police. The police. Perfectly fine to resist the police. Florida sues OpenAI over claims of AI harm. Don't be sorry. I just don't want you to be too angry. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Not much I can do about it. It angers me. You task me, and I will have my revenge. The press, yes, they always use what fits their narrative. They can't go around the police body cams in court, I think. Yeah. Florida sues OpenAI causing harms and stuff. Oh, this is, yeah, we got this. Yes. Florida on Monday became the first U.S. state to sue OpenAI over the alleged harms caused by their artificial intelligence. Can you believe that? Wow. Hold on, I'm opening a couple more links here. Just opening some links. A couple more. All right. That's all of them. All right. The lawsuit filed by the Florida Attorney General, James Altmaier. Police have to walk on eggshells. Tell me you want to be a cop. No, that's the thing. Jonathan says, I saw the video. She's like 120 pounds. He popped her in the face. Doesn't look good. She was tiny. Not a good look. But she was kicking him on the ground and stuff. It doesn't matter. She's kicking him on the ground. They were arguing and stuff like this, you know. and grabbing hands and arguing. I played the video. They were like fighting, tussling hands, like as soon as he's trying to get her. Yeah, Bronco would say that punch was legal. Yeah. Size doesn't matter. No, you're resisting arrest. Yeah. AI fatigue. Yeah. So they allege that OpenAI permitted its flagship chat assistant to aid and abet mass shooters, encourage suicide of user suicide, and damage users' critical thinking skills. Comply with lawful orders or get put in place. I mean, yeah. The litany of harms is driven by defendants' insatiable quest to win the AI arms race, amass a large fortune despite knowing the dangers of ChatGPT. Lawsuit targets OpenAI co-founder Sam Altman directly for allowing the product to be released with these faults. The lawsuit follows a criminal investigation Altmaier opened in April after prosecutors uncovered the role that ChatGPT played in the Florida State University shooting last year. The suspect, Phoenix Ickner, used ChatGPT to aid planning the attack. Yeah, I agree, Doc. Not generally a fan of police in general, but crap like this puts me in their camp. Don't assault, don't resist. If you hold court in the street, you're going to get dealt with in a street way. You know, it was understood, always understood until just recently, that if you resisted the cops, when they say you're under arrest, that's it. You go to jail. If you resist, if you fight, you're going to get your ass whooped. That's just the way it was. That was understood. It's very difficult to control a resisting person without hurting them, especially when they are punching and kicking. They're called compliance strikes. Now it's AI made me do it. Yeah. AI made me do it. That's what they're saying. AI made me do it. It says, Israel is barred from attending defense exhibit in France. Among other restrictions, the French decision includes a ban on government representatives from attending and a ban on an Israeli national pavilion. So they don't want Israel at the weapons show. Acting like this and claiming innocence makes it harder for everyone else to catch bad cops. Yeah, that's the thing. When they, this is no different than the hands up, don't shoot, the Michael Brown shit, the George Floyd shit. It's all lies and bullshit. They go after cops all the time. Like they went after Daniel. They go after other people like Daniel Penny that aren't cops. They went after Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, it's just non-stop shit. Nobody wants to accept responsibility. When the cops come and they say you're under arrest, you go, all right, you got me. You put your hands behind your back and you go to jail and you deal with it. You don't fight. You don't resist arrest. According to an Israeli spokesperson, the French government has informed the MOD of its decision to bar Israeli participation in the Eurosatory Defense Exposition. As a result, Israel will be unable to participate in the exhibition or establish a pavilion in next month's event in Paris. The French decision encumbers a ban on representatives, a ban on a pavilion, a restriction on Israeli defense industries. The MOD says the policy is selective and discriminatory, adding it reeks of political and commercial calculation. So, Israel says France bans its officials from weapons show. Well, that's what happens. Yeah, France's defense ministry, which barred Israel from taking part in the Eurosatory arms exhibition, later said companies would be limited to showing equipment and materials related to air defense and missile defense. I wouldn't bring shit to fuck them. Let them get their own shit. Tell the French to go fuck themselves. Paris is on fire. France doesn't deserve to have any defense expo until they clean up their own national defense. That city's going to lose all the good cops if they don't have their backs. More cops coming to Texas. Yeah. Man, this also has to do with the French too, believing the lies of the people. You know, the people that claim that they were abused by the Israelis and then they all magically got got healed after being there for a couple minutes when they came back. France bans Israel from defense. Expedition limits companies to showing defensive weapons. Well, I mean, what's the difference? The French are just going to drop their weapons when they run anyway. I wonder if Zimmerman's name had been Garcia, if the public opinion would have been different. It's possible. You never know. You never can tell these days. Ossoff rallies Atlanta supporters with sharp attack on Trump and GOP rivals ahead of the Georgia showdown. John Ossoff used a campaign rally in downtown Atlanta to attack President Trump, speaking to a packed crowd at the Tabernacle alongside. Isn't the Tabernacle, isn't that a fucking church? So they did all this in a church, huh? With Democratic gubernatorial nominee Keisha Lance Bottoms. So the woman that was responsible for Atlanta burning down. Oh. The rally featured a mix of campaign messaging, personal testimony, and broader criticisms of the Republican Party. X for doubt on a packed house. Yeah. Speakers focus on rising insurance premiums, grocery prices, Medicaid policy. We're going to vote from top to bottom ballot. Yeah. Ossoff, who's seeking re-election to become the first Democrat elected to the Senate in 2 decades after becoming the first Democrat. Yeah. Because they stole the fucking election. The rest of the video shows her actually apologizing and being pretty much mellow. Well, then she knows she did something wrong. Why was she resisting? A cafeteria worker and caregiver for autistic grandson described seeing her Affordable Care Act insurance premium rise from $80 to $400. Okay. Yeah, everything's gone up. What do you want me to tell you? These people, I hate to break it to you, all your shit's going to get higher under Democrats, you fucking dummies. Expanding Medicaid would be a priority. Oh, yeah. As a Georgia voter, in my honest opinion, Ossoff did not legitimately win the Senate seat. Neither did Warnock. Shady elections, especially in Fulton. Yeah, totally shady. So the rally comes as the Republicans remain locked in a contentious runoff between Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and businessman Rick Jackson. Bottoms criticized both of them as being aligned with Trump. Yeah, there's a long history of the demon rats buying blocks of black votes through pastors of the black churches. Yeah. Republicans argue that Democrat policies contribute to the inflation. Oh, no shit. Yeah, Democrats play the Christian card as a last resort. Jones previously positioned himself as a strong Trump ally and emphasized tax cuts. Jackson similarly campaigned on conservative economic policies. The runoff exposed divisions within the Georgia Republicans over messaging, strategy, and the future of the party. The same dynamics in the state that continues to show razor-thin statewide margins. Are they really razor-thin? Really? They're trying to rebuild the coalition that helped flip Georgia blue in 2020 by leaning heavily into voting rights. Yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, it's only razor tight because you let Fulton County stuff the fucking ballot box. Sunday's rally returned to the broader anxieties. Oh, look at that. Pastor Jamal Bryant. Oh, look at that. So he's at the Tabernacle Church with the pastor. I thought it was illegal to host these things at the runoff ousted Ratburger. Yeah. Yeah, but the cheating flipped Georgia blue. Yeah, sure did. Inflation is transitory under the demon rats. Energize a crowd by talking about Georgia's history of driving national change from Coca-Cola to civil rights icons. They urge voters to make history by electing the first black woman governor. Oh. Called on attendees to honor the sacrifices of the past by like John Lewis and shit. Oh. Yeah, voting rights by making sure you can stuff the ballots. Georgia is expected to remain one of the country's top political battlegrounds. The immediate focus remains resolving the gubernatorial runoff before consolidating around a general election message. Beneath the applause, the speeches and campaign attacks was a broader question continue to find politics, whether voters frustrated by rising costs are looking for continuity or something entirely different. Inflation, by definition, reduces the value of the dollar permanently. Yes, it does. It's never transitory. We got this. Scummer, Chuck Scumbag, launches Senate Damon Rat campaign to block the anti-weaponization fund. Yeah. He's going to use floor votes. Chuck Scumbag. Chuck Scumbag launched a coordinated effort to block the Department of Justice fund. Going to use a legislative tool available to, going to use every legislative tool available to stop it. Yeah, that's it. Just like a black person, it'll fix everything. Yeah. He's going to keep the money from going out. Yeah, he pledged to force Republicans to take recorded votes on the issue. This week, the Demon Rats will launch a coordinated effort to kill the slush fund before it gets one cent out the door. Didn't the DOJ already abandon the fund? I saw that reports one place, but I think they said they were appealing the judge's order. I'm not sure. Unless they decide, who knows? Maybe Thune told Trump just to let it go until after the election or something. Maybe that happened. I don't know. He said the Demon Rats would also demand that records be preserved to seek answers from the DOJ about who requested and approved the settlement and who stood to benefit. What? The White House referred the Epoch Times to DOJ. Yeah, Cheeseburger Chuck, that's him. At the center is the Anti-Weaponization Fund, a program that Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced on May 18th. The DOJ created through a settlement after Trump agreed to drop the $10 billion lawsuit that he and his two sons and the family business filed against the IRS. I mean, they know that the Treasury Department failed to stop the contractor from leaking his tax returns. And they also participated in the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Trump defended the arrangement, writing on Truth that they were so badly abused, they need to get help. Judge Liani Briccamina said that no money is to be irreversibly dispersed. Separately, Judge Kathleen Williams in the Southern District of Florida said she would examine allegations the settlement was premised on deception after 35 former federal judges asked her to reopen the case. I mean, who are these people? And Don Bacon, a Demon Rat, and says that, oh, Trump lost support. Fucking scams, man. GOP primed for primary season payback on Trump's most ambitious controversial policy.
What Trump is doing is setting up his own fund, telling the Attorney General to give him immunity and his family immunity, and doing a total end run around any judicial process or legislative process. It's absolute disgrace.
Well, look, the fact is the Biden administration weaponized the Department of Justice against average, ordinary Americans. And so I think there's a real conversation about how do people get redress from that.
So senators clashing there over the DOJ's proposed anti-weaponization fund, nearly $1.8 billion to fund into investigations, possibly compensation over claims that Americans were unfairly targeted by the federal government. We are back to discuss this and more with our panel. I want to play a little bit of what Senator Ted Cruz had to say on his podcast about how this meeting with the acting AG went down with GOP senators who felt blindsided by this thing. Here's a bit of his take.
There were fireworks at an epic level. And I got to say, it's one of the roughest meetings I've seen in my entire time in the Senate. I don't know exactly what will happen, but we will see the administration announcing at a minimum a modification of this, because if they don't, they've got a full-on revolt in the Senate.
A revolt in the Senate, right?
Well,
I'm sure that there'll be some parameters around this fund, and because there's one thing that these senators understand, that betting against Trump in our party is like betting against gravity, and they all know it. They all go to the county Lincoln Day dinners. They all go to the state conventions. They know that Trump runs the show. And by the way, on the weaponization issue, our lives were turned upside down in the Trump White House. I mean, on day 2, the FBI came in. We were subpoenaed. We didn't know what was true and what wasn't at first. Now we know it was all a hose job. But at the time, we didn't know anything. And for years, I spent many meetings with the DOJ and the FBI, hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees. It ruined everything in the beginning of our time in the White House. And so, yeah, it was wrong. I mean, I don't know another White House chief of staff that had to have a criminal defense attorney on retainer for something that was a complete made up joke, but we did. And so the president sued the DOJ for all of the things that happened to him, which was like times 100 on us. And he could have gotten a lot of money for what happened to him. And he instead settled that case and said, I'm going to settle this case. I'm going to put this pot of money over here to take care of all the people that were wrong. And I highly doubt, I mean, they're going to put parameters around it. So this J6 stuff is a red herring because it's never going to happen. So I think these are talking points that the Democrats are using.
Well, Senator Cruz said they pressed on that issue of J6 and whether anybody who was involved in physically attacking a police officer or committing a violent crime would be eligible for this fund. Leslie, he says, Todd Blanche said not only no, he said hell no. Does that give you reassurance?
No, but thank you, because the revolt's going to come in November. My party takes over both the House and the Senate, because this is extremely tone deaf to the cries of the American people, which are
Leslie,
about
you're wrong.
affordability, and then and also that our president shouldn't be above the law and okay for me but not for thee. That's not what America is. That's not what democracy is, and that's not what freedom is. The bottom line here is this is, sadly, it's not a gift to the American people. It is a punishment to taxpayers and to certainly those, who are even mentally or emotionally scarred from J6. But in addition to that, it is a gift to my party, because this is going to be a nail in the coffin of your party.
But maybe a gift to Hunter Biden too, because he was name checked and the AG said he can apply too, the acting AG.
Yeah, be careful what you wish.
Well, I don't need a fund to sue the DOJ, by the way. So I mean, it's good that it's there, but you cause of action.
Make sure we get our gentleman over here on the other side of the aisle, because there's the ripple effect of this, which is the headache now between Senate Republicans and the White House. Punchbowl said this: Senate Republican leaders are now coming to grips with the reality that advancing Trump's priorities may be in conflict with their efforts to retain the majority. It's difficult to overstate the erosion of goodwill between Trump and Senate Republicans.
Yeah, you saw real erosion this week, erosion between Senate Republicans and the president that they've been.
Is that fucking Norm Eisen?
So, look, Ted Cruz, let's give him credit there. He was a great reporter. I mean, we should deputize him as a reporter. He's reporting that meeting out, right? My favorite quote of the week was from Tom Tillis, who's retiring in large part because the president.
Rhino scum.
He called this fund stupid on stilts. The big difference on Capitol Hill this week, I talked to dozens of senators throughout the week. The big difference is, A, they're saying it on the record, and B, the volume of the criticism towards Trump. Now, they may be able to finesse this, to Reince's point. They may be able to gloss over this, but right now it's a big problem that they need to resolve.
Well, speaking of volume, we were told by name certain senators who were apparently screaming at Blanche in this meeting.
In and out of office, Donald Trump has maintained an iron grip on Republicans, which is what makes this mini revolt so interesting. We were told by numerous folks inside of the room that Republicans took the bark off of acting attorney Blanche. And it wasn't just because of the slush fund. It's also frustration over Ken Paxton, over the way that the ballroom has been handled. So, we'll have to monitor this moving forward for sure.
Yes, we will. We'll see if everybody finds kumbaya, as we have done on the panel. Panel,
Yeah, so, we'll see. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they can all suck a dick, but that's my opinion. Senate rhinos, yes. Leslie has no relevant analysis whatsoever. Yeah. Rhinos are running scared right now. Yeah, well, they're going to do whatever they can. That's the thing. A cornered animal is very dangerous. You got to be careful. They think January 6th was an insurrection. Yeah, they do. Chat failed again, Jim. What do you mean? Well, how did chat fail? What you mean? A hot one. Yeah. This is one piece of evidence proving why the left has won. Yeah, well, it's giving you errors. I don't know what's going on. I'm having all types of issues myself. So think about the contrast with Tyler Robinson's family. Robinson's family identified him as the murderer, questioned him on the spot, and when he confessed, they immediately called the sheriff and forced him to surrender. Digwa's family lied to the cops and hid the weapon. YouTube chat down the boom. Did it really fail again? Probably. Who knows? YouTube's been having all types of issues. Fox Sundays are full of third-tier people and leftists. Hilarious to hear the left talk about fairness. Is that what you're talking about? Leslie wears the pants in the family. I'm tired of the left, including on our side. Yes. Go where? Where do you want me to go? Sounds like rhinos don't respect the will of the people. Fox News Sundays are full of third-tier people or leftists. Yeah. And not a cent has been spent, and they have their panties in a knot. It's crazy. We've just been attacked by someone racially. We've been attacked racially by some white person. This is a 999 call from the parents of the guy covering up for the murderer.
Police emergency.
Yeah, we just been attacked by someone racially. Yeah, this. Right. He just attacked it. Took his starter. Sorry? Huh? Sorry, we just got attacked racially by some white person.
Right, okay. Whereabouts are you?
We're on Belmont Road.
Just out in the street, are you?
Sorry?
You're just in the street?
Yeah, literally. I just parked up my car to come home, and he's attacked my brother.
Police emergency.
Yeah, we just been attacked by someone racially. Yeah, this.
Wow. Oh, the guy who got this is what's going on. You know, you was on methamphetamines. Who, me? Oh yeah. What woman is an idiot? Democracy had more than 250 undercover agents setting up. January 6th, Matthew Perna committed suicide. Tario, 22 years, wasn't even there. Roseanne Boylan trampled to death. What slur did they use that you bleeped out? Yeah. Yes, our biggest problem is the Senate. It is. It's a major problem. Yeah. Listen to the audio and the script. It's unmistakable. No memory of mention of blades or blood. Just the instant racial framing against a white person. Officers then treat the dying native lad as the problem to neutralize. Deflection brought critical minutes when Henry pleaded for couldn't breathe. We've institutionalized the very lie that inverts victim and aggressor. Why hasn't this guy been charged? The most worrying thing is that the police just bought and handcuffed the victims for saying forbidden words. We've been attacked racially. They know how to take advantage of the fucked up UK system. They know they had stabbed him and that he was dying on the pavement, and they were setting up a defense. It's the voice of the killer's brother, Gurbeet Digwa. Why hasn't he been charged with lying to police? Why is the lying brother making the call, not charged with attempting to pervert the course of justice when he claimed a racial motive? I mean, it's interesting, right? Very interesting. The West is a different place than the rest of the world. In most non-Western cultures, you could expect the family members of murder to behave in a manner of Digwa's family, not Robinson's. Mass immigration is civilizational suicide. I have been a non-tribal law-abiding rule follower, honest man. All I've been given for the same is a sense of a fucking fool missing half the game because I thought the rules were real. Read this again. A single NGO can call these protests on and off at a moment's notice. Yeah. Kasika, New Jersey just announced they will not be mobilizing to Delaney Hall. They're talking to strikers and their families to regroup. And outside activist organizations in direct communication with detainees, coordinating strategy, deciding when to push and pull back. Oh, we're not mobilizing tonight. We're going to do this stuff. So this organization needs to be investigated. You post this with 1% battery and not on a charger. That's baller. So it's kind of crazy. Sounds like logistics, communication support. It's not a protest, not local, it's not organic. It's crazy, right? These NGOs are the underbelly of a visceral, violent, organized crime that's tearing America apart. Yeah. Something's got to change. Oh, look at this. An anti-ICE agitator who allegedly bit officers during the Delaney Hall protest was previously accused of distributing child porn. I understand the mom wiped the knife clean before the cops got there. Yeah. They should all be in jail. Yeah. Roseanne Boylan was beat to death with a billy club by Officer Lila Morris. I'm foolishly still paying for cable and haven't watched TV for months. Well, IPTV is cable over the internet. You can get it for around $10 a month. Look it up. The mom is in jail. Oh, good. The whole family. How come the brother's not in jail? Yeah. This guy who is a child porn guy. Look at that. 2018 arrest for child porn. This is who they've got. He pleaded guilty in a case with lesser felony that banned him from having contact with minors. You could literally grab any random member of Antifa and successfully get a pedo. Yet still somehow they avoid jail time when they end up in front of a primarily DNC voting juries. Great for you guys to finally catch up what's going on. You guys get all your stories from Twitter posts 2 weeks after they spread. Patrick 7. Oh, Patrick. The leftist rioter was charged with kicking and biting officers, had previously been arrested for kiddie porn. What are the odds that ICE arrests one of these violent rioters in a crowd and he just so happens to be a pedo? USAID was a slush fund of epic proportions. Yeah, sure was. Sure was. What's one other thing I want to show? Check this out. You can basically extort a property owner in New York City and get your attorney paid for by the taxpayers. 10% of them are. Antifa and NAMBLA must share membership lists. Get dipshit politicians pretend there's not enough tenant rights in the city. A New York City landlord pleads for help as a 9-year squatter nightmare costs him hundreds of thousands in unpaid rent. This is crazy, isn't it? This is just nuts. He's going to have to take matters in his own hands. New York City will not help him. Landlord pleads for help as Twilight Zone squatter nightmare costs him hundreds of thousands in unpaid rent and fees. And how is this happening in the United States of America? A landlord in Leafy Park Slope says he's been mired in a decade-long nightmare with a squatter from hell who's turned his life into the Twilight Zone. Thomas Diana bought the 8-unit building on 3rd Street, trendy Brooklyn neighborhood in 1988. And said that one tenant's been taking him to the cleaner since 2019 by not paying a cent on her $2,600 a month apartment. Screwed is a polite way of putting it. I would never buy another building in the city. I've already had enough of this. They got to fix this. There's no reason that owners should be putting through this crap for years. The tenant, identified as Rebecca Carmel, maintains that the apartment is legally rent stabilized, but Diana schemed to exempt it from those restrictions to hike the rent. That she's put her rent in an escrow account until the matter is settled. But the landlord claims he has yet to be shown any proof of her escrow and that she's now weaponizing housing regulations to get a free ride. Diana said the beef began when he enlisted Carmel to move into the apartment to serve as a live-in caregiver for an ailing elderly tenant and close friend, Linda Rogers. The two women split the monthly rent, while Rogers paying $1,000 and Carmel chipping in $850 and later $950. But things began to unravel when Rogers died in 2016. Press X for doubt. Yeah. Yeah, stop calling it what it is, child rape. Yeah. Rent out a property. Well, rent it out again, previous tenants included. According to Diana, Carmel initially asked for time to find a new place, which he agreed to, but instead of eventually leaving, she remained and claimed she was only required to pay her $950 share of the rent under the earlier deal. The case ended up in court, and a judge imposed an $830 monthly use and occupancy payment on Carmel while the dispute played out. Money Diana claims she only made until 2019. Diana argued that the building qualifies as an owner or employee occupied exemption from rent stabilization. The regulations because he lived there himself in the past and later employed Rogers briefly as a building supervisor before she became seriously ill. Carmel countered in part that the claim is a ruse because Rogers never physically able to perform the work. The case has since been mired in courts, with Diana claiming Carmel has dragged her feet over the dispute for years. He said he's meanwhile going broke and estimates he's lost $275,000 to $325,000 in rent, not including legal fees. You heard Kick with well, I know Kick. They said Kick was very bad. I don't know enough about it to comment on it. I've heard it's very bad. It drained the daughter's college funds. It gets stressful. In a statement, maintained her client is in the right. Of course, this Casey Guilfoyle of the Brooklyn Legal Services. Mr. Diana's distortion of the facts of the case, a sad attempt to harass our client out of her rent-stabilized apartment. Guilfoyle said the judge ruled Diana improperly took the apartment off rent stabilization rolls, and that all that's left to decide is that the legal rent and any damages should be awarded. Kick, K-I-K, not the other Kick. The K-I-K Kick is the one that was like a dating site. The Rent Guidelines Board set limits on annual rent increase for rent-stabilized apartments between 1% and 5%. The Big Apple also has generous squatter rights. I blame everybody, the media people. They made owners out to be the most evil bastards. I blame the elected officials. A city lawyer and one-time public advocates commiserated with, said, I've represented single-family landlords who haven't collected rent in 4 years, are still expected to pay mortgages, taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, and violations. Not because they're slumlords, quite the opposite. These small units represent their dreams and savings. The taxpayer funds the tenant's lawyer. The system is badly out of balance. It's just crazy. The K-I-K Kick, not the Kick, the other Kick that you're on. I can't put up with hearing any more of this shit tonight. I don't want to be angry tomorrow. Well, I don't know. That's the news, man. What do you want me to tell you? That's the news. That's the news. The U.S. Department of Transportation confirms that they've issued a subpoena to the state of New York after they allege the states refused to cooperate with the investigation into Jing Sen Dong, the bus driver who caused a crash that killed 5 people in Virginia on Friday. The Department of Transportation says Dong is a naturalized citizen who was born in China but doesn't speak any English, received a CDL from the state of New York. They say the subpoena is a result of not being able to obtain the requested documents through other reasonable means. You must be behind in the chat. None of your comments are making sense. Anger is a good motivator. Where do I sign up for Jim Tells You Sweet Nothings? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. I don't know if it's possible. Look at this crash. Yeah, this guy didn't speak English. He killed a bunch of people. They're refusing to cooperate. In plain English, the state of New York is protecting a criminal from China who left dead Americans in Virginia. Kathy Huckle and the gang simply don't care about victims. They only care about immigration and murderers. Dong should not be a naturalized citizen or have a CDL. New York State has refused to cooperate. The bus driver who caused the crash. Dong is a citizen who was born in China, doesn't speak English, receives a commercial driver's license. It's crazy. What about the bus company owner-operator? They had previously incident. Another bus failed to show for a work zone, slow for a work zone, rear-ending a vehicle, injuring 9 people. I was on a grand jury in 2014 where we heard evidence of Chinese commercial bus companies based out of New York City committing insurance fraud. Additionally, their Chinese drivers were keeping multiple driver's logs to hide how much they drove. The case disappeared and was never adjudicated. Yeah, go figure. Oh, here we go. The DOJ has officially charged Nicholas Matthew Skelfo with threatening to murder ICE agents and his family. He now faces 10 years in prison. He admitted he's on the video. He saw it circulating. He will appear today before a federal magistrate in Newark. It's a serious felony. Not looking good for this guy. This is the guy. Remember this guy?
Family's dead. Come on. Children, your wife, all dead. Look it. My boy. I have your face, mother. You're dead. dead!
Yep, they got him. They got him. They got him. Check this out. Police have arrested Democrat congressional candidate Kirill Bassin in Hawaii for pulling a firearm on officials after storming a government building. He's been charged with terrorist threatening in the first degree. This is crazy.
Maui police arrested congressional candidate Kirill Bassin for terroristic threatening today for allegedly threatening multiple county workers while carrying a gun. He allegedly had an argument on Wednesday with council member Tom Cook and staff members. Then in Wailuku this morning, police locked down a county building while officers searched for the 40-year-old. 3 hours later, they found Bassin in Kihei.
It's crazy, right? Crazy, right? Well, everybody, we went 3 hours and 20 minutes. We didn't hit the goal for the second hour. No arrests tonight. Protesters had their photo op with Deputy Mayor. Protesters giving interviews by the press. Yeah, it's all scam. Aren't guns illegal in Hawaii? It's not, pretty much. I want to thank everybody who was here. I'll see you all tomorrow night at 7. Please remind everybody to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Yeah. And I tell everybody to please come back tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not waiting 20 minutes. Joe can get rated. He's fine. He'll be fine. So Democrats suck. They suck. I'll see everybody tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Thanks for being here. Please hit like, please subscribe. Come on back tomorrow for Jim to tell Use the News.